Okay.
I mean, GTA sounds cool with me.
Don't forget to change the Twitch, the words on the Twitch video.
I did. It says the weekly poll, the best of the worst.
I'm not on there. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, I
I
saw
was like,
that.
what? Hello, everybody. Today we're all gonna talk like Muppets. I can't see you shaking your head. The filler image is there.
Oh. Is that me? Is that because of me?
What are we gonna put in the lower right-hand corner now? I have nothing because we're not talking.
You can put the chat in there.
Oh, the chat. Where's that image?
Chat.
Oh yeah.
No, not like the superhero, like the actual like the chat itself.
No,
I like the idea of making it that.
My version's funnier.
Make it the little guy that they created.
Yeah, where is
It's
he?
brilliant. I don't know where that is.
Thanks. That helps. That's a great
Did you
idea.
grab
No
it?
one has it, but
No.
You guys don't have it?
No.
do you?
I think so.
Well, who won?
Could have sworn we actually had like a winner, like
We
We
did.
did have a winner.
a kick-ass person. Like, you're the best.
Yeah.
You're the best. They're us. Occasionally, I
that's
break out in a song. So I discovered one of the coolest things in the world, just so you guys know.
Okay.
My PS4 controller, when just manually plugged into my computer, is automatically a wireless controller.
Wow. That's awesome.
That is awesome. You don't have to humor me, Sal. I loved it.
No, that is awesome.
Oh,
Like, so
okay.
can you play video games with it on
Yeah.
your computer?
Yeah, we were playing this game called Duck Game, and everyone's like, plug your PS4 controller. And I'm like, that ain't gonna work. And yeah, it worked.
And it worked fine. That's amazing. That's friggin' awesome, actually.
I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
Great, now I gotta figure out a way to get the chat in there.
I know.
The best that was! Dutch and English have invaded. What?
Invaded what?
Okay, so this guy's got the weekly poll going, a BLT, some banana pudding vape. He's set.
Oh yeah, banana pudding vapor is fucking delicious.
A vape shop just opened up in my town. It's like, oh. It's called Nuclear Vapes. The U is a cooling tower.
That's cool.
Is it? That sounds really dangerous.
Wait, you know what we could do this episode? We'll make this episode all about me. And,
Okay. Sounds about right.
I'll do
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
a live reading of one of my stories. Can we make it all about me? I'm not against it making it all about me.
I'm not above that.
I'm very self-centered. I could totally make that work.
Can make that happen. I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Just for you guys. Guys, today's episode is all about the comic historian, because he is full of himself.
All comic historian.
Oh, comic historian, all the time!
All the time, non-stop. It's the non-stop historian. No.
Non-stop historian?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty much what you talk when you talk to me after?
Yeah. It's the unstop historian.
It's the comic historian after he's had too much caffeine. It's the best at what? Everyone's telling me no. You guys are not cool. Faust is recovering from Paris. Apparently.
Yeah.
What the heck? Everything just closed on my screen. That's not good.
That sounds like you're about to disappear.
Boop.
And so will the show.
No, my hair is not a symbiote. Jeez.
No, it's...
I'll give you credit.
Manipulative.
That one was original, and that's still getting retweeted right now.
Yes, it is. It was like 50 or 60 last I looked.
Eh.
Sal, can you make him not be mean to me? I'm never mean to him.
Who?
You
Rob.
hurt my feelings.
Rob? No, I can't stop Rob.
I can't stop Rob.
Oh, people are complaining they can't see us. Yeah, no.
We're on the pre-show, guys. Jeez, we're not... Does it sound like we're doing our official everything? I don't know. You want to get Joel in here instead of the chat? We can do that. We haven't had
No.
Joel in a while. Make
No,
peace.
I'm-
Break bread.
No, I'm totally
No?
fine with that.
Fuck Joel.
He's probably around.
He's always around. So is Sammy. Let's see. Let's try Sammy first. I haven't had Sammy in a while. Want to try Sammy? What do you guys think? Joel, Sammy, or Orem? Because I know he wanted to come on. Everyone's like, who?
Yeah, I like Orem.
He's the guy we met down there.
Oh, Orem.
Here's I'm going to tweet all 3 of them, and the first one to respond gets to be our 4th guest.
Oh my god. You know they have some say in this. They're gonna have to like be available.
Nah, we're fine.
Nah, they're fine.
Everyone's saying Joel or Sammy. Soul. We can't have Soul and Slammy.
Oh, I'm getting a call right now.
From who?
I don't know, Connecticut. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna see what happens. We're live. Hello? You're speaking to Sal. How can I help you? Oh, hey, Leo, what's up?
Do you have a home security system?
I know.
Would you like one? Dude, some telemarketer called me asking me if I wanted to buy a home security system. I just want him a new one because they've been calling me nonstop for days. And I was like, I told him outright. I was like, just so you know, you have this, like, you brought this on yourself.
That's
like,
great.
what
Yeah, I'm
happens
sorry
next is not my
that
fault.
we actually just switched over with our email addresses, so it might have been. It's probably just default. Yeah, so if you would like, whenever you're ready, I'll be happy to give you my email. All right, it's Sal, S-A-L, at
Yeah, just broadcast that, Sal. Just tell me.
.net.
And here's my credit card
It's
number.
Comic Pop. He's fine. What's he? There, I tweeted it out. Let's see who responds first. Because I looked, and none of them are in the chat right now.
Correct.
My credit card number is blankety blank. And
My credit card number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
here's the expiration date and the 3-digit pin on the back.
And that is a MasterCard. MasterCard.
Correct.
Master. God, I'm trying to find the chat. I know I have it here somewhere.
The image of the chat.
Yeah, because it was really cool.
No, they did a good job. We have it somewhere. See, now I'm picking my nose, Rob. I'm telling the world, even though they can't see me. Like, now I got an itch way up
That's
there.
gross.
I'm pointing at my brain.
That's gross.
Sammy replied. Sammy getting on today?
Well. Oh, I found it. Okay, I have it.
She's coaching girls soccer or volleyball today.
Coaching girls volleyball.
Yeah.
Man, she needs to get off of that. Stop coaching girls volleyball and come hang out.
Joel, is Joel here? I don't see Joel.
All right,
see
there's
Orem
the,
either,
there's
so
the
there's
chat.
two more.
Should you ever need to use it for a future reference or a future date, there is the chat.
Oh, that was a good one. That was the winner, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the winner.
Credit cards explained. Explain credit cards, Rob.
Credit cards are a way for the government to track you.
Really? Is that really what we're going to go with?
That's what it is. It's conspiracy theories 101. You're not really free. You're part of the Matrix.
I love how Sal answered the phone initially as a gag, because he's expecting telemarketers, and he would just blow them off on the air. And now he's like, "Oh, I gotta mute myself. This is legit."
This is legitimate business.
He can hear.
Gotta
Yeah,
protect-
he's
Oh,
nodding.
he can hear us?
Yeah, he can hear us.
Oh man, what kind of phone does he have? Is that an iPhone?
I think it's a Samsung S6. Is it this one, Sal? Or do you have this?
Hey Sal, what phone do you have? Sal. Sal, what phone do you have?
Don't distract him. Let him get done with this call. Oh.
I think he muted us.
He did mute us now. He was nodding.
Oh, okay.
over there.
He's like, you know what, man? The hell with you guys. I'm just gonna mute you guys.
So, Comic Pop's Secret War. Oh, no. Oh, it's a Galaxy Note 3. He can't hear us.
Oh, okay. Galaxy Note 3.
Oh, Sal, to remind me to send you. I'll send you a free Note 4. I have it sitting here on the desk. I don't use it anymore. I upgraded.
Just giving out phones. Hey, you want like $1,000 device? Here you go.
I give
Design
him a Note
thing.
4. I also got a Galaxy S5. I got that floating on the house too.
Yeah, I need to get an iPhone S or an iPhone 6. I might just wait and get the S6.
I need
when it
an
comes out.
iDevice so I can do a lot of the iDevice stuff.
Yeah, dude, I have a Mac and an iPhone and an iPad. Like they're freaking amazing.
Silence explained. No, there's no silence. We're here. Joel explain. Explain Joel.
I'll let you explain, Joel.
Joel is from Canada, and he likes to friendly steal your ideas.
Joel
Ah!
steals. Joel's a thief. He's a thief and a liar.
No
Joel's a
one's
cool.
responding. It looks like the fourth guest may be the chat today.
Maybe the chat. No one wants to be on the Weekly Poll podcast
I
anymore.
guess we're not important anymore. Does no one like us anymore? Is that the deal?
No one cares.
Old man Hogan wants my S5. Hashtag hype. Hype. All right, so let me see what you think of this. Okay, so here's my script for Injustice. Our story begins on a rooftop no different than any other. But this rooftop has two of the world's greatest superheroes perched on it. Batman and Superhero. The two greatest friends in
Batman and
superhero
superhero?
history.
Batman
What?
and superhero?
Batman and Superman, I said.
You said superhero.
I did not say superhero.
You said superhero,
This is
man.
not the final take.
You said...
Superman looks at Batman and asks him, "We want you to be the Godfather." And Bruce looks surprised. And Clark smiles. Hey, look, the world's greatest detective is surprised. See? That was your beginning.
And then Superman blows up Metropolis. No, who was it? Green Lantern blew up. Who was it that blew up Metropolis?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you
Batman
did.
the superhero.
Who was it? I don't remember who blew up Metropolis.
It was Joker.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Joker
Why is it
Joker
always
blows up
the Joker?
Metropolis and forces Superman to kill Lois Lane.
In Kingdom Come, it was the
And he
Joker that
goes
killed
insane
everybody
and
at the Daily
kills
Planet.
everyone.
Why is it always the Joker? It's always the Joker that commits like mass murder. Like, hey, let's just
Who else
kill
would
everybody.
though? Calendar Man?
That's a good point.
Calendar Man's got this. He's got mass
I mean, I
murder
can see
and everything.
I can see Ra's al Ghul doing it. Although I guess he had the Tower of Babel. I did this to you. That's the greatest comic book scene of all time. I did this to you. I made him turn your skin inside out, Superman. I'm sorry.
Oh, Elektra's on the new season of Daredevil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just announced her.
See, I thought Daredevil's rights were in the or Elektra's rights were up in the air.
Apparently not.
I know they mentioned her as an Easter egg in the first season. Remember that Greek girl? I remember that, but I thought it was just a tip
hot.
of it. It's a nod. Well, hell, dude, I'm down with that. So we get Elektra and the Punisher in the second season.
Yeah,
I'm fucking down with that.
that's what it looks like.
So I guess, see, that's gonna be weird though. See, this Marvel. See, Marvel's got
Joel
peaks
can't
and
make
they've
it.
got
He apparently went
valleys.
to the store right now.
You can't turn around.
You know Joel's kicking himself right now for not being able to go.
I know the one time we actually invited him. And Oram, the one guy, the guy who hasn't been on yet and wanted to be on, is about to see Ant-Man, so he can't go. So it's just the three.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, he's seeing Ant-Man really early.
Yeah, he is.
How is he doing that?
I don't know.
Because
we
they
don't
got
have that
released.
kind of
They got released early in London, in England. I don't know. They got released early outside
Joel's
the United
buying
States.
fruit pies? Yeah, I could buy that.
Fruit pies are awesome.
That's funny.
Fruit
though.
pies are amazing.
Joel of all the one time he's like, fuck it, I'll come late.
Yeah, right? Whatever. Sorry about I had to drop out. I was just confirming my, the entire Comic Pop squad going.
Yeah, you have.
Going to what?
Kineticon.
I want to go.
We know you're in with the mob. You don't have
It's
to.
the same weekend as San Diego Comic-Con, so you make your decision about which show you want to go to.
You were talking to Tony Soprano. You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
There's Joel.
I guess he turned around.
Joel turned around. You know what?
Screw this!
I
I'll
can
call on
turn
the
around.
phone. I'll do the FaceTime. Hey guys, I'm good.
He's not answering. Maybe.
Oh, you're calling him?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
He,
no,
he,
call him.
no, he hit me up with, "Am I too late?"
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So you're letting him know, like, no, you're not.
Okay.
Just look in my. Let me look in my contacts here. We could call up.
All right. Hold on one
we
second,
could
guys.
just do the chat, it's fine.
What?
We could just do the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Everyone
One,
at the current
two,
running
three.
a theory that the chat would like to know is: are you getting fruit pies? Whatever UCam 5 is not your webcam.
Is he for real calling us from the grocery store? Because if I hear him checking out in the background, I'll be like, "We got to let you go, Joel. I'm sorry, man. We can't. Huh?
Is he calling us from the phone, from the?
No idea.
I
Using
can't
some
hear him if he
third-party app.
is.
No. Oh.
There
No,
he is.
No,
that,
he's in
that
his
does not
house.
look
Oh,
like
okay.
a grocery store unless
He
unless
went
it-
back home. He
Unless
went
in
back
Canada
home.
your mic is muted, Joel. We
And
can't
we
hear a
can't
word you're
hear
saying.
We can't hear you, man.
There's a well-oiled machine.
Still can't hear you.
This sucks.
We hear nothing. Joel looks angry today. You know what he looks like to me right now? He looks like the kind of guy that is gonna go watch WWE after this and like cheer on like the Dudley brothers. Are they still a thing?
No, the Dudley Boys have not been a thing forever. They're a dude. Okay, so a friend of mine, Kevin, him and his son went to a TNA wrestling match, which is like supposed to be at the WCW now. And he was like, dude, it was garbage. He was like, we went. It's like they showed up, and like half the ring just wasn't filled up. Like they sold half the tickets they were supposed to sell, I guess, and it was. Just,
the big thing is over with that. I think it was only popular when people still thought it was real.
No, it was only popular when you had the money, when you had competition. That's when it was popular. They have a really cool series called the Monday Night Wars, which is amazing.
Are you guys talking about professional wrestling?
Yes.
Did you do anything but read comics, Sal?
Do I? Yeah, I do lots of stuff that does not involve watching professional wrestling.
Wrestling sucks now. It didn't suck then. Let me tell you something. Wrestling in the 90s was the peak of wrestling.
Yes, it was. You know what? Even I watched the promos for wrestling between other shows that I was watching, like Batman Beyond or BattleBots.
You were like the ultimate 1950s nerd. I don't know why I picked that era, because that is not accurate
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, so you mean that I was a 9-year-old boy?
You were the ultimate guy for the 50s, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sinatra all the way.
Bada bing.
Good now.
I would say the 50s. That's
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
hey,
Joel.
we got
there he
Joel.
is.
Sorry, of course, with the short notice that I had, of course, I had to, like, run and get all my tech shit and put it together. I'm just like, oh god, oh god.
Oh my God, I get to be on a weekly pool. I'll just,
short
like,
notice
stop
heads up of,
everything.
hey, we'd like you on today.
I
Like, I'll
know.
just-
I like you made it a competition there. Like, first one to respond in the next 5 minutes gets...
I was like, ah!
What I loved, though, is apparently this is the one day that everyone decided to go do something else.
Yeah.
I
I
literally
mean, I
just
thought everybody
stuck in
put their life on hold on Tuesdays on the possibility they might be able to be on the weekly pool. Like,
just for the
maybe they'll
chance,
have me
man.
on. Maybe they'll have me on. I'll just not do anything today and just sit at home.
All right,
Yeah.
Joel, since you're so last second, I can't put in your Twitter, so you get to be at the weekly
That's
poll.
fine. That's fine.
At the weekly pool.
People know,
I have
people know where
time
to
to put
find
that.
me.
Oh, by the way, Joel has left Comic Book Cast. I'm making this official announcement now. He has left Comic Book Cast.
Don't
On his
say
way
that
out,
people will forgive you, or people will actually believe you.
On
Yeah.
his way out, he also told Armin to fuck off.
I said after meeting him for the first time, like 2 days ago.
Oh,
actually,
tell
in
that
person.
story while I set up.
I will. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's an awesome story. I got to meet Armin and his wife in Montreal. It was freaking
To tell him
awesome.
you quit, right?
Just, in person to tender my resignation.
Yeah. I know we're meeting for the first time, but I quit.
Him and his wife hugged me. It was beautiful, and then I said I was quitting. I got this shirt here because I'm a total tourist. I got a shirt of the place that I was at. Another cool
Wow.
thing I got, a fan actually got me this. Neil Adams was there, so I got a Neil Adams print of the famous Green Lantern, Green Arrow, My Ward is a Junkie.
My ward is a junkie!
I love that one so much. Oh, I actually got to score some brownie points with Adams, where I'm just like, yeah, your stuff is so much better than the Arrow TV show. And I guess he was a little sick of it, because I guess people had been talking to him about Arrow all day
Yeah.
long.
That's awesome.
So I know you're tired of it, but can we talk about Arrow?
Apparently he tried to write for the show, and they wouldn't have him.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Okay, all right, so here we go. We're gonna today's podcast, just so you know, Joe, because I know you got last second. We're gonna talk about your favorite worst story ever. But we are gonna open it up with a discussion about Elektra joining the Daredevil cast. That was just
Oh,
announced.
nice. Yeah, I
What?
just saw that.
Exactly, just announced.
Really?
Yes.
Who is it?
They haven't.
Actually,
Just that she's on it. That's all we know.
You know, these things always run long. Let me go grab my power source so I don't crap out
Good
halfway.
idea.
What do you mean they always run long? We're always on time.
Yeah.
We're like 15
That's
minutes
why
late right
my
now.
bladder's always going to explode at the end of these shows, and I'm, like, hungry as hell.
I'm hungry as freak.
No, today is going to be a shorter one, guys, because we don't have a lot of topics today. We don't have a lot to talk about, so.
No, we do not.
So thank you all for being here for the
Except
pre-show.
for that fact that-
No, there's gonna be video. We're gonna actually go live in a minute. We're about to do the intro, and that's where Rob takes it and puts it on the actual channel from that point on.
Nice. I gotta ask Joel about Neil Adams, because he's gonna be at my local con, and I really need to know if he's a decent person.
I want to go to Kineticon, but why do you always mention these things like a week out?
Yeah, man, you gotta do a better job.
That's
than
when
that.
I
If you
always
could tell
know
me,
when I'm
like,
gonna go.
I was like, if you could have told me like a month ago, I'd have been like, yeah, I'll get a ticket, I'll go.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing it until, like, a few weeks ago.
Well, that's still a few weeks ago. It's a month ago.
Well, here's the thing. Connecticut's close enough where I could always just be like, nah. Like, if I get up at, like, 11, I'm gonna be like, F Connecticut.
Wait, aren't
What?
you like making a panel or something?
No.
This is just nah.
Yeah.
Well, I applied for one, they said no.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because if like, I thought you were on a panel and you were gonna be like, if I wake up late,
I'm sure they'll find another comic book YouTuber.
Like I keep
Throw a
saying
rock.
for Fan Expo at the beginning of September, if any of you guys have ever wanted to come visit Toronto, I have a guest room, $35
I'm
a
down.
night.
I'm in that. Let's do that.
Dude,
Kitchen
I
and
like.
We'll talk
everything.
about it after this. All the guys who are asking if, yes, Zubs just filled them in, all of us will be at New York Comic Con. Except
Yes.
Rob, we're going to lock him in a room and not let him out.
I like how people like. I did my video on the top 5 things you didn't know about the Marvel Universe or about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and somebody was like, "You misspelled directors," because I put an apostrophe before the S, and I was like, "Okay." You're the only one who
You
cares,
wanna know
but
what's funny?
okay.
I got a comment the other day that was like, "Dumbass, do Hush Part 2." And I just realized,
Hush
no.
Part 2.
I was
No.
just, no.
Oh, hey,
No.
Benny, you would appreciate this. At Montreal Comic Con, I got to talk to my buddy Jim Zub yet again, and we actually talked about you, and he talked about the interview you guys did and everything.
Was it a good,
Nice.
good talk or like, oh my god, I'll never do that again?
No, he liked you. You were a fun guy there. He's like, I felt bad for him because apparently he got crucified later for saying a bunch of Japanese names wrong, but it's because of that. Apparently in the next volume, he wants to actually have like a phonetic phrase guide for people.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just for you, Benny. Just for you. You changed the face of this comic.
Yes! I have changed wayward.
I mean, this fucking
Harold
guy
just says
right
that
here, this guy Benny
Melody
Potter, man,
Young-
a comic story, and it was stupid. Like, this guy didn't know what he was talking about. He was the most
I'm glad he liked
offensive
it.
person
I'm actually
I've
looking
ever
forward
been
to
around.
actually meeting him. There's a few of them that I want to meet that I've actually done these interviews with and stuff like that.
He's
So.
coming to Fan Expo. He's kind of been my
He's also
con.
going to New
good
York
luck
Comic Con. I could just meet him then.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Okay, before we go forward, what's the date of Fan Expo?
Fan Expo. It's like the 3rd to the 6th. It's the long weekend. It's like the Labor Day long weekend, but it's not in August now. It's in
It's
September.
like
I
to the
might
7th?
be in Paris at that time, but we'll see.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's in September.
Yeah, since it's like beginning of September.
Okay,
Dude, I
we're
might
going to
go
go
to
live.
that.
So we're going to open this up with a discussion about Elektra, and then we're going to move on to your... It's not going to be a long one today. We're actually going to keep it short. We were debating, not going to lie to the viewers, we were debating actually canceling, but the things have been so wonky. But because we had nothing to talk about. Things have been so
Yeah.
wonky with the podcast, we didn't want to cancel on you guys today. So
By the
it's
way,
not-
they did cast Elektra.
Oh, they did? Okay, so we got the great. We can talk about that in a minute. All right. So basically, today we're going to be talking about Elektra and Daredevil, the TV show, and then we're going to move on to talking about your favorite worst story ever. And we are going to keep it under a tight time constraint today. So,
Okay.
let's go live, and I'll do the actual intro. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I
Joel, put your
guess.
shirt back on, buddy.
As ready as I'll ever be.
It's not gonna happen.
Rob, take yours off.
Yeah, that's what people want to see. Like, Rob, we want to see your boobs. Take your fucking shirt off.
The weekly pull calendar coming soon.
Yes.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
what's
See us
that girl that
posing in
keeps
sexy
tweeting
pics.
us, asking for the shirtless calendar of all of us?
Oh yeah, her. Yeah,
What?
she talks. Yeah, she's a nice lady. Yeah.
She seems friendly, but she always tweets like, I'll say something and she'll be like, "That's a great point, and you're sexy," and I'm like,
Well, it's funny. She was actually pretty cool because the first time I started talking to her was when I was on here, and she's like, "Oh, you're the sexiest one of the comic book cast." I'm like, "Oh, I bet you say that to all the internet YouTube critics." And she's like, "Yeah, but it doesn't mean I don't mean it." I'm like, "Oh, touche, ma'am. Your verbal sparring is next level."
So you know what's gonna happen? Like, Joel's gonna be like, "Hey guys, like I'm gonna go visit this girl," and then we're never gonna hear from Joel again.
Yeah.
All right,
gonna
here we
come
go.
back
And
minus
we're going
one
live.
kidney.
We are live, but we're going to face live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game faces. Welcome to the Weekly Poll, guys. Your #1 source for comic book YouTube podcast. So much better than the Comic Book Cast. Joining us today is a member of the Comic Book Cast.
Yeah, man. Actually, Comic Book Cast, today's a special day. This is the anniversary of Comic Book Cast. It's 40.
No.
No, I'm only playing around, guys. They do a great job over there. But welcome to the Weekly Poll. I'm Benny, the Comic Historian. That is Rob from Comics Explained. That is Sal from the Comic Pop. And that is Joel, guest starring from the Comic Book Cast. A great, I don't know, what, sister, brother podcast? Another comic book podcast.
We're all under
It's
the
our
same
neighbor
umbrella.
to the north.
Neighbor to the right. They're the Canadian guys. We're the American guy. Rob is asleep.
Just
like
staring
it.
at the screen. I was wanting to see how long I could do that. Like how long I could just stare at the screen without
I honestly thought
flinching.
you were frozen.
And
I honestly thought
I
you were
looked. You thought I froze?
All right, guys. So for those of you joining us on Rob's channel, post the actual live thing. Don't forget to follow us at twitch.tv/The Weekly Poll. Or you can follow us on Twitter at The Weekly Poll. Or our Facebook, facebook.com/The Weekly Poll. Or on my Instagram at Comicstorian.
Be sure not to go to that.
Anyway, guys, today we're going to be talking about the Daredevil Elektra casting, and because we don't have very much other news to talk about, I don't think that's a proper sentence, but it'll work. We don't have very much other stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about our favorite, worst comic book stories.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you guys know, for those of you watching this post on Rob's channel afterwards, Joel is joining us as a guest from Comic Book Cast. So make sure you check them out on youtube.com/comicbookcast2. They literally do everything.
It's true.
Yeah. That's their tagline.
But we are a small army of people. We are the many heads of the Hydra. You kill one of us and two more will take its place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just like, they procreate like crazy, man. They're rabbits.
But we have a cloning factory that we're... Ooh, no, wait, I wasn't supposed to mention the cloning factory.
How many armies is there really?
No clones.
Yeah, like next week they're gonna have like 32 people on their podcast.
we got this green dude named the Jackal who like lives in my guest house.
Oh, great.
He like does stuff for me.
All he wanted was just a little bit of pocket change. That's all he wanted. He'll clone everyone.
I
At least you'll have a whole
dinner.
At least you'll have a harem of hot blondes to take care of your every whim.
All right, guys. So today, let's go ahead and talk about Elektra. Sally, you said you actually got the casting. All I got was
yes. Thanks to the chat, we got the actress. The young lady's name is Eloy Young. I have no idea how
You
to
cannot
pronounce
pronounce it.
Well, everybody,
Elodie?
let's stick to the internet.
Yeah,
Elodie
quick check
Young.
IMDb.
She was in one of the G.I. Joe films, which means she's probably fantastic.
Oh,
real
you're
high-
talking.
I
You're
love those
talking.
quality.
Her
That's
name's
it.
Elodie Young.
She looks just like Elektra.
Does she? Oh, now
She does.
Someone link that, please, because
She looks like Frank Miller's Elektra.
I was gonna say, because since Sal can't pronounce it, I don't know what to look up.
So what you're saying
She's
is
from France.
That doesn't.
I mean,
Oh,
ask
okay.
ask Natalie how to pronounce it. She speaks French. She helped me pronounce my French.
Elodia
My
works.
French was all fucked up.
Okay, so what do you guys think then? What are your theories? We got Elektra, we got Punisher going in the next season. They've already said
great.
that they're not going to do Frank Miller again. They're going to move towards, I heard, Bendis, but I don't
Good.
know.
Oh,
That was our
cool.
theory.
Yeah.
Our theory
I'm-
was they were
I'm
going to
down
go
with
through the eras of Bendis or of Daredevil's run. It was going to start with Miller, then go into Bendis, maybe swing into like Mark Wade.
See, all you guys who didn't
Oh, yeah,
listen
she
to
does
us, like
look just like
Marvel's
Elektra.
listening to us. Like Marvel's
They
doing what
are.
we
They're
think
watching
we
the
should
show.
do.
They're like, that's what they
Watching
want.
the show.
Okay.
That's what the weekly poll wants to see. That's
We
what
got to
we'll
listen
do.
to those four dudes.
And those
Yeah,
four
they
guys.
seem to know what they're talking about.
Hey, man,
Millions
we are
of fans, we gotta listen
tastemakers
to
for
this
the
one, guys.
internet. We are tastemakers, I say.
Well, the fact that we were like, we need to have Frank Castle be not only like his premiere needs to be in the Daredevil show, and then you just spin off and do a
Hold
Punisher
on,
show.
wait, like halt the presses.
What?
Why is Tiffany saying that we don't speak about Secret Wars #4?
Because
yeah.
That's-
Oh,
story
I
was
saw their video.
amazing.
Would you, if you
That story
don't
was
want to speak
awesome.
about, no, hold on. If you don't want to, if you can't bring that up without watching Sal's video. So Rob,
It's
take yourself
pretty
offline for a
spectacular.
second. Go watch Sal's video and come back. You did a great job on it.
That was pretty great.
Thank
Did you
you.
guys do all that in like one take? Was that like one solid improv, or did you
that
actually
was
have
one
to edit
show.
that?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I haven't. Like, I need to see it. Like, I haven't
Yeah,
seen
huge
it yet.
props
'cause
to
that's-
Tiffany.
All you need, all you need to do, just so you understand what's going on, load the video up, go about a minute into it, and just look at the scene.
It's like, you know, on TV when they have like very special episodes of, well, that was a very special episode of Comic
Right.
Pop. It
Yeah.
might be up for an internet Oscar. Who knows?
I'm gonna watch this right now.
So anyway, so what do you guys think though? What do you think about Daredevil with Elektra and Punisher and the whole shebang?
It sounds
Oh yeah,
like
I mean,
they're
it had
doing
to happen.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, when they announced the Punisher, honestly, what I was hoping for, Elektra was actually a surprise for me. Like, I was hoping, what I was hoping we were going to get wasn't necessarily like a carbon copy, but was like the kind of basically what you saw in Daredevil season 1. Instead of the Kingpin, we had the Punisher, and there's just going to be like some guy running around killing people, and the Punisher and Daredevil's like, "What's going on?" He eventually tracks the guy down. I mean, Marvel's going to write it well.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm hoping doesn't happen here is TV shows, you can do a lot more with them. You can have a lot more go on for a lot longer amount of time. So you can add more people in. So I don't see it being like Age of Ultron where it's just like there's so much happening. You know, like I think the pacing will be good and it'll be written well.
See, my theory for the
I don't know.
Punisher is completely different from yours. I
Really?
think that and this kind of makes sense to Elektra because she'll probably be the other side of the whole thing to bring the ninjas into it. But I think that the Punisher is going to be here as the guy who goes too far. Because the Daredevil's
Yo,
always
for
been on
sure.
the edge of the line. Like, he's
Yeah.
like, oh, do I want to hurt him? Not really. I'll do what I need to do. I think the Punisher's going to show up as the guy that's like, you need to take out the bad guys. That you just kill them and they're done. And
It'll also reinforce Daredevil's like whole no killing stance.
yeah,
It's a
He'll be like,
morality
this is what
play.
happens.
And so that's what I think the Punisher is. I think he's going to show up. We're going to be like, who's the guy killing people? We're going to find out it's the Punisher. They're going to do some crazy fun in-joke about the Penske truck and, oh, I helped Captain America.
Yeah.
And then he's going to show that he's going to kill someone in front of Daredevil, and Daredevil's going to be like, you shouldn't have done that, and he'll explain his whole code. And so
Yep.
the whole season is going to be like him dealing with, do I finally cross that line?
I'm
And
really
then-
hopeful.
And then I think what's going to happen is the Elektra's going to be there with Bullseye, and she'll probably die like in the comics.
Yeah.
And then Bullseye will be the one where it's like, do you kill him?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, that'll be the big moral.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, but that would be. I mean, if, okay,
I just
if
called
they
the
were
whole
gonna
season.
have, if they
Way
were
to
gonna
go,
have
Benny. Now I don't
Bullseye-
have to watch it.
If they were gonna have a big arc like Bullseye killing Elektra, they would announce that.
Oh,
Because-
really?
no, they'll wait.
It's a year and a
No,
half
I
out
think they
still.
wouldn't have-
It's,
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good chunk of ways out still. That's why.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
they cast Bullseye, then my theory is going to be sold.
Yeah,
Oh, they did, didn't they?
no, they don't
Yeah,
have
I
a
don't
Bullseye
think they
yet.
did yet.
They haven't even announced him yet.
They've
They
talked
did. They
about
said he's
it.
in it.
What?
I don't
They said
think
he's in it.
Have they? I don't know. I know they talked
Kingpin
about
Sniper was Bullseye.
it. Was he really, or was that just an Easter egg in and of itself? See, I think that was Paladin, but only because I'm a giant nerd.
That'd be amazing if it was Paladin. They're not gonna make it Paladin.
Dude, Paladin, if there was ever a show where Paladin could show up, it's this Daredevil.
Oh, I
show.
gu-
There was
guess-
ever a
I
show
guess
where they
they're-
could then have like Silver Sable show up and the
Oh,
Wild.
God, yeah.
Well,
Wildcat?
supposedly there was talks of Bullseye joining the second season cast, and I guess Jason Statham was the
That's
guy.
right.
Yeah,
I wanted
I
to
just
save
saw
them,
that.
and then
And
and
then-
we ruined it.
Dude.
Yeah, they
And
ruined
then
it
Statham
somehow.
turns around and starts slagging off Marvel, which makes you think, oh, so you were up for it, didn't get it, and now you're salty.
What? Hold on. So, okay, did he? Jason Statham, man.
That would've been an
and I
amazing
just
Bullseye.
finished. Yes, I just finished watching The Transporter.
Oh,
Like Jason
yeah.
Statham, man. Like, dude, it's so funny looking at him so young in the Transformer or in the Transporter. Like he's so young, but
Snatch,
you know,
man.
like man, if he, dude, Jason
No, they
Statham,
said that
man.
because it was like he was in talks. That the leak came out. His agent or publicist was like, "Wow, the buzz is huge. We're gonna ask for more money." And then Marvel's
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, you just announced our kryptonite. Actors asking for more money. We'll do the Marvel method, which is to fire you or not fire you at all."
Unless you're Robert Downey Jr. And then you can say, I want $50 million
And they're like, "Sold."
In a gold
That's-
dump
they-
truck.
they
You know,
can't afford to give-
luckily, Robert Downey Jr. was not playing Bruce Banner. Otherwise, we would have a new.
They can't afford to give the other actors what they want. They're like, "We have to pay Downey to be in the movie." So
What were they going to do? Say no? Were they going to be like, no, Robert Downey Jr., we're just going to fire you and cast somebody else?
I don't know.
And then he uses his pull to try and see if the actors can get more money, where he's like, hey, I'm making so much, so these guys
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
kill me in my sleep.
Yeah, because I think they were, and it's funny because I was reading an article the other day and they were talking about how much money everybody was making, and they were like, Robert Downey Jr. made $50 million and his co-stars made a paltry $3 million. I'm like, if I can make $3 million for filming a 2.5-hour movie, like that would be amazing.
With Robert Downey Jr.
With
And
Robert
then
Downey
you got
Jr.
guys like Renner, though, who are like
they
big real
could-
estate developers on the side on top of being actors.
Yeah.
I would pay Marvel myself to go. I will give you money to let me be
Yeah.
in this movie with you.
Yes.
Could you imagine that? Like, we pay them thousands of dollars. We pull out a small mortgage loan on it, and we just show up in the next Avengers movie. We're all just sitting around drinking coffee. It's like, hey, we're the weekly poll. How's it go?
You know what the greatest cameo would be? The greatest cameo would be you pay that money, and we be the goons down at the docks loading the crates, and then we get beaten
would
up
be
by
so-
Daredevil.
all
down
in
with that.
T-shirts that say theweeklypoll.net.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be
Got
so
names.
down with that.
I can imagine they would do one where they're like, you can be in an Avengers movie, but Black Widow's gonna punch you in the face
That's
Okay,
fine.
I'm okay with that.
because you're crappy. Because of your crappy reporting on our comic.
ScarJo can actually hit me. That's fine. That's fine.
Scarlett
I'm a
Jo-
just found
method
my fetish.
actor.
Scarlett Joe Walken.
I'm
Have
a
you seen
method
that? Have you
actor.
seen that picture of like a young Christopher Walken looks exactly like
Yes,
Scarlett
I
Johansson?
did.
It's
I did.
creepy. It's
It
very creepy.
confounds me.
Yes.
So, Okay, so I mean, we're we're in a good off-topic area.
Yes, we are. We're at a very good off. No, okay. So
I was like, back to Daredevil and Electra, though.
I think the fear that people are going to have is they're going to say, "Oh my God, like Marvel's taking the whole Age of Ultron approach. Or they're going to have so much stuff going on. They're doing the same thing in Captain America 3." It's okay to do that in Daredevil because Captain America 3 is a 2.5-hour film or 3-hour film. Age of Ultron was a 2.5-hour film. This is going to be a show that's going to last like 20 episodes. There's
And the willing
plenty
suspension of
of
disbelief won't be there because it's
Yeah.
it's not going to be a sentient robot. It's going to be like a douche in a t-shirt that's shooting people and like a ninja chick.
See,
Like, that's
I know-
pretty believable at this point.
I know a lot of people gave crap to Age of Ultron for so many superheroes and so many plots and something like that. In Captain America 3, it looks like it's going to be in the same boat. But as long as I think Captain America 3 is going to be better. Because I think it's going to be like, we're focusing on Captain America. We're not trying to get the entire Avengers cast into here. Oh, and look, everyone else is here too. You know,
Yeah,
like
here's
that.
the thing. For me, I think Cap 2 is actually better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah, no, I agree
yeah.
with you. I love
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
It's very solid. It's probably the most complete film Marvel's done today. That and Guardians are like
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Guardians. Guardians is
flew-
my favorite movie of all time.
yes.
Marvel may have actually made a mistake because after Guardians, it was like, oh, well, Age of Ultron is just like, well, who cares? We've seen all this crap before.
It's like Guardians was so good. Man, new Star Wars movie. You better up your game because I think we may have a new space opera for this
no,
generation.
but see, here was a kicker. Like,
What
I don't
about
think
that
Marvel.
Ant-Man?
I don't
about
think
that
Marvel.
Ant?
I don't think Marvel
getting really
expected
good
like
reviews.
Guardians to be very good.
No,
Like,
they
I think
did
Marvel
not.
was like, well, let's have James Gunn do Guardians of the Galaxy, and of course, like fans of geek culture were just like, James Gunn, yeah, like I'm down with James Gunn, and then they were really excited. But in terms of like everybody else out there, they were like, Guardians of the Galaxy, like what, like a talking raccoon, a tree, like what in
Dude,
the heck's gonna go on? And the movie came out.
I go to the gym with people who are not into comics at all. Like, they don't know what I do, and they're just like, oh, are you okay, cool. And they were talking to me like, when's the next Guardians movie comes out? Because that movie is just incredible.
Yeah. Mass appeal.
Oh, we can finally talk about something.
Yeah,
That
like
was
I
gonna
mean,
be
it
called
was.
Volume 2, which is interesting.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
that's gonna be cool, and it's gonna have Adam Warlock, so I'm pretty psyched about that. So.
Of course you would be.
What?
We should. Oh, guys. Okay. So to close up our thoughts on Daredevil, Electra.
Yes.
Let's end it in a musical tone. So I believe that Electra will be amazing.
I
So
second
do
this
I.
notion.
Thank you, Joel.
I third this notion that Daredevil will be amazing.
Daredevil could be a great
Sal, you
morality
need to
play.
give us your opinion.
Come on, Sal, sing.
Come on, Sal.
You must sing for
We
Feel
are
the
debasing
pressure.
ourselves. Do it too.
No,
Don't be the one.
thanks.
sing with your very deep voice.
I just sang with
your
you.
very
He
deep-
kind
You know we're gonna get a million remixes of this now.
That's going to be ridiculous, yeah.
People are gonna auto tune.
Cap 3 will be better.
Golden
Oh, there
Vision
we
is
go, there
editing
we go.
these right now into a music video.
No, actually,
Yeah, no,
I think Daredevil Season 2 is going to be freaking tight.
Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, it's season one. I mean, and that's the funny thing about stuff like that is you don't know. Like we know, we like, people they said, okay, Iron Man. We said, well, that's weird. Iron Man's a weird choice from Marvel, but whatever. It took off, blew up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Stuff came after. We knew the Avengers was going to explode. Like we knew that when Marvel said, like we're launching the Avengers, that the movie was just going to blow up the box offices, and it did.
It did.
You know, but when they came out and they said we're doing a Daredevil Netflix series, I think the speculation was, okay, it's Netflix, which means there's no TV ratings. They can do pretty much anything they want to, and they did. I mean, they had the Kingpin chop a guy's head off with a car door.
Oh, I
You
love
know, I
that
mean,
scene.
it was amazing, like-
There's few like I loved all the fight scenes, but that scene, I was sitting here playing a video game, watching it on the side, and that scene came up, and I'm like, what?
Can I just say, based on just the strength of D'Onofrio's Kingpin, can we start like a Kickstarter or a Twitter campaign that just says like Kingpin for Spider-Man movie?
Oh,
Only
yes.
villain, no
Yes.
no other villains, just
Please,
just,
please.
just straight up
Great
Ultimate
job with the
Spider-Man.
Kingpin.
That's all.
Dude, that would be absolutely. I mean, it doesn't even need to be Ultimate Spider-Man. It can just be like pre-Daredevil Spider-Man.
Well, yeah. No, I just mean
Um,
like that story arc where like the main villain was the Kingpin. Like
Oh,
in
yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man, Kingpin was his main adversary, and it worked really well.
Oh, I'd be down to see that, but no, I mean, it's that was the really cool thing is people said, okay, God, Daredevil's amazing because it's you know what Daredevil felt like. Daredevil felt like Marvel Max. That's exactly
Yes,
what
it
it felt
did.
like. It
Yes,
felt like
it did.
here's our adult imprint. We can just do whatever in the hell we want to, and no one cares. And it was awesome.
We also
I can't
have
wait to see
them
what they do with
change
Purple
it.
Man and Jessica Jones. Like, are they
I
going
can't wait for that. Tennant playing Purple Man, that's amazing.
Man,
Reread that
people
run
ask
just
me that,
recently.
dude.
Yeah.
A friend of mine asked me, he's like, so who's the Purple Man? Like, is he going to be good? And I said, let me tell you something, man. If Jessica Jones, he's purple. he drank a whole lot of purple.
And he's a douche.
They take a lot of Kool-Aid.
A massive scumbag.
Yeah.
Him
I
and
asked him, I
Dr.
was like-
Light.
Kingpin for a Squirrel Girl movie.
I said, have you seen like Daredevil yet? And he was like, yeah, I saw the first season of Daredevil. That was extreme. I said, buddy, you ain't seen nothing yet.
It was extreme.
Like,
Jessica Jones is extreme. No.
Yeah, Jessica Jones is. I was like, if they take the Alias, because I know Sal loves Alias. If they take the Alias
series.
I gave him the rundown. I was like, here's what Purple Man did with Jessica Jones when he controlled her mind. And he was like, you think they'll put that in Netflix? I was like, I'm pretty sure they will.
Anyone would do it.
Yeah.
Anyone who's with half a brain would do that. Like Purple Man.
The only problem that I see with the darker tone the Netflix shows seem to do is they seem to reflect that they're in the universe, but like you don't see Daredevil popping up in the other movies. You're not going to see Jessica Jones popping up.
Not yet.
No, but see, that's a cool thing. Like that's what I love about the Daredevil movies. Okay, the thing about Iron Man, the thing about even with the exception of the Winter Soldier, and even Winter Soldier to a degree, which is about as dark as Marvel's gotten so far. If you look at like the gritty nature and the overall ambiance of the movie, like that's about as dark as they've gotten. They got nothing on Netflix because I think Netflix. The great thing about Daredevil is it's ground level heroes, and it gives you this perspective that Captain America, that Iron Man, they're on this whole other echelon up there, and Daredevil's just down here on this gritty, shitty down floor. And
it's finally
so cool.
getting that. Like the movies won't do it because they have to be larger than life. Even the Spider-Man movies, like who is like the definitive street level hero. I mean, now Daredevil's become this definitive character, but like Spider-Man was the definitive loner street level character. Every Spider-Man movie, and this is from a person who was like, "Oh, they'll never be better than this." Back when they came out, like. They did, by the way, got much better than that. But my point being, like, even when those were coming out, every Spider-Man movie is he's Superman. Yeah, like he'll save everyone.
Yeah,
like, he can stop 6 trains by just pooping on them.
Like, no, I agree. I think that's a ruin to Spider-Man
Flash
movies.
Gordon, he'll save every one of us.
Yeah, he needs a silly Queen song. It'd be amazing.
I
wish Queen were around just to do a Spider-Man song.
But no, that's why I think Daredevil was so solid is because it was out there. I mean, everything's so fun in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I love fun movies. I love fun, exciting, hey, I just want to like vegetate and have some fun and laugh and giggles and so on and so forth. And that was you got that in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was hilarious. You got that in Iron Man with his one-liners, and you got that with Captain America and the whole bravery and I'm still trying to get used to things. And Captain America the Winter Soldier, had some humor and stuff like that. Like there was like nothing funny in Daredevil. There was just
Avocados at Law was pretty funny. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But it was a really dark humor. So.
Yeah, what was the other thing that I thought was funny about that movie? Oh, just Kingpin, his halting way of speaking, and his just like you knew by like episode 4 when Kingpin's like you're like, oh, like you just laughed because you knew
his
he was
terrifying toddler, his like full-grown terrifying toddler routine.
Yes.
Can we talk about the Kingpin for a second? Because since we're talking about Daredevil, let's talk about Daredevil.
We're totally on Daredevil. Let's just do it.
Like the Kingpin. Am I the only one who thought that Marvel's pacing of his character was perfect? Like when he first starts off in the show. It's just like, well, this guy's he's trying to be a good person. Like you can see he's screwing up. He's doing really crappy things.
He thinks he's being a good person. I think that's amazing.
Okay. He thinks he is. He's like, even his dialogue, like his amazing dialogue that I would say would rival any major movie dialogue ever. He says like he thought he was doing the right thing, and it's like at the end of the series he just gives up, and he's just like, you know what, the hell with it. I'll just be a bad person. And he becomes like that criminal guy, like the Kingpin we all know and love. And I thought that was so cool.
You're totally right about that. We're spoiling the end of Daredevil, but I mean, if you haven't seen it by now,
people have had a chance. You had your chance.
But they're literally shooting it right now in Hell's Kitchen. You could go there and watch them shoot it. Like
I haven't seen it. Don't spoil.
I
haven't.
Benny?
Are you serious?
I'm at the last episode.
Are you for real?
Wow.
I'm a bad comic book YouTuber.
You are a terrible comic book YouTuber.
At least
every comic. Okay, Benny, you are literally the one. Like you are the second biggest comic book YouTuber. and you're the
But
one
I'm
guy.
caught up on DBZ Kai.
Hey, there you go.
You're the one
It's shorter
guy
and
who
easier to
hasn't seen it
watch.
yet.
Everybody
okay,
jump
you know
on
what-
Twitter using
you know
the
what Benny
hashtag
is?
Benny Shame.
You know what Benny is right now? Benny is the kid that's like sitting in the corner of the lunchroom by himself, eating his home packed lunch,
Aw.
while everybody else is eating like Papa John's,
No,
and they're all
okay, no,
hanging
see,
out, and they're all having fun and talking, and Benny's just like, man.
As everyone
Okay, no, I
wags their
legitimately do have 2 episodes left to watch. My wife was watching it behind me, and I caught the ending, and I kind of like lost interest in going through it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, you can play the I watched the show with someone else card.
well, the same
which
thing
is
happened with
acceptable.
Arkham Knight. Like, I mean, Arkham Knight was already spoiled for me, and I'm not going to
Same
spoil
here.
it on here because it's still too new.
please.
Yeah, I'm not going to. But like, I haven't finished Arkham Knight because I'm sitting there and I'm going through it like 90 miles an hour, playing it, and I look over and she's like, "I'm at the ending, don't watch." I'm like, "Oh, it won't be that big of a deal." So I'm like, "Oh, that was cool." Haven't touched Arkham Knight since.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you
That's
supposed
exactly
to do
it.
in that situation? Cover your ears and eyes?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, okay, so if Benny, if you haven't seen it yet, I mean,
Oh, it's
like,
fine. Go ahead. That's...
okay.
No, we'll just move on. We'll just move
Well, I
on.
was gonna say,
well, we actually,
I
in all seriousness though, regardless of everyone having seen it, it's still only like 3 months old. So we probably shouldn't spoil it.
It really
Yeah.
feels like it's been around for a year.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
really,
it
Yeah,
has
it's
not
been
been
around
out
for a
that
long
long.
time.
Joel, what were you gonna
But,
say?
I was gonna say this isn't a spoiler, but it's something that I really liked, and it's a theme that I don't think a lot of people talked about. This idea that the Kingpin is this encroaching force of gentrification for Hell's Kitchen, where he's like, I'm going to tear down the real New York that you know and love and grew up with, and I'm going to build this plastic, fantastic Disneyland. Why? Because I hate Hell's Kitchen so much. Because it took
Yes.
everything from me, and so I'm going to literally tear it down brick by brick, and that's how I'm going to save it.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say thanks.
Which,
Thank
by
you,
the
by the
way-
way. All the chat is hashtag Benny Shame. Thank you.
Oh, I know.
as far as I'm aware, like the Kingpin doesn't have like a childhood origin story. As far as I've been able to find, like I've never been able to find like do it.
They made him like he was a chubby kid. Like that's as much
Okay,
as I
when
remember.
did they? Yeah, I don't. Okay, I looked high
Didn't they
and
go into it
low.
in the show? I mean, I saw the scenes where they went into his childhood as it.
No. I'm
Yeah, on the
talking
show, but
about
not in, like,
in the
necessarily
comics.
the comics.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like I'm past that part.
No, in the
Didn't
comics,
Spider-Man the
it's trying to
animated
find it
series, they
everywhere.
flash back to him as a kid. I'm pretty sure they did.
They
Like,
do.
And he can't hop the French because he's too fat, and he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
"Oh
too
no!"
No, see,
Yeah,
I don't.
it's
That would
use-
hit me as a kid. I'm like, "Well, I guess I can't ever be a criminal now because I'm not going to be able to hop that fence."
Yeah, exactly.
See, I don't use this stuff. Like I use comics for all my source material, but I could not find. I searched high and low. I looked at the Kingpin's like backstory series because he had like a 4 or 5 or 6 issue like backstory. Like I looked that up. I looked at like everything I could possibly find on the Kingpin, and I could not find like his story as a kid. And so, if assuming that it does exist, or if it's told in like a single panel, whatever it is, regardless of what the story is in the comics, that origin story in the TV show is 100 times better. I don't care what they wrote in the comic books.
Don't worry, when they
it's-
remake
So-
the universe, that will just be his origin now.
That
So,
will
so
be-
hold on, since we're not gonna finish that, let's talk about DBZ Kai. No,
so I'd use it,
Okay, bye.
No, man, I don't gotta talk about DBZ Kai because I watched the original Dragon Ball Z on TV as it aired. All
no. For
600
the record,
plus
I did too.
episodes.
And it should before because we're not gonna go much into this. This is for the anime podcast that will be airing
Yeah.
sometime this week with Faust. But I do want to state this because I was talking to Zod, my wife, and I was like, "Hey, what's it called?"
Ill before her.
Yeah, no, I was like, she was watching Kai with me, and she's like, "Okay, I understand why everyone watches this, but what's the point of the episodes where they scream?" I'm like, "You think that's bad? You should have seen this one this aired."
when it came on, like the
You
fight
weren't
with Frieza
there,
took-
man.
They would give us like
they're
3 new
powering
episodes,
up.
restart the whole series.
Restart
Yeah.
the whole series, dude. There was nothing. Dude, there was nothing worse than that. Like it was like on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, like something really fucking cool happens, and you're just like yes. And then like the next episode, like this episode comes on next because you had to wait a week. The
Oh, yeah.
episode comes
Oh,
on
yeah.
next week, and then it's the first episode all over again, and you're like, are you for real?
I love. The
And but then you
titles
start
that
doing
straight-
math. You're like, okay, 20 episodes. I got like a month and a half.
I straight up love the titles that spoiled what would happen in the episodes. Like,
Yeah.
can Goku defeat Frieza? Find out next time on Frieza Defeated.
I noticed that with DBZ Kai because I'm going back through it. I just finished up going back through it, but like I would be there, they're like They're like, will Trunks get strong enough to defeat Cell? And be like, next episode on Trunks goes Super Saiyan level 2.
Put it that
Why
way.
not then?
Yeah, dude, I watched Dragon Ball Z religiously when I was a kid. Like I lived so like that and Legends of the Hidden Temple. God, the 1990s. The 1990s. How
Well,
I
no,
missed
we're
you,
now
you
we're
know?
talking about like Nick games, which are awesome.
Yes.
Nick Arcade?
Yes.
Let's do Nick Arcade.
Nick Arcade was cool, but like it's so stupid at the same time because no one. A, you could always find Mikey. B, the final thing with the green screen and you gotta touch it, touch the thing, touch the coin. You're not getting it. You gotta get
Did
the
you see
coin.
the Kickstarter
Just
where they tried
get
to
the
restart
coin.
that?
What?
They came out with a Kickstarter that they were asking for, I think, $20,000 to start a new show. But they were going to get actual video game developers, and I believe they they even had the original host, the original executive producer, all of them, and I think they only got like $1,500. So
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If they said we're doing a Kickstarter to bring back Legends of the Hidden Temple, that shit would
Oh
blow
my
up.
god!
People would be
I
like,
do that in a
yes!
heartbeat. By the way, every episode of Legend of the Hidden Temple is on
It's
YouTube.
on YouTube. Yes, it is.
They're amazing,
Yes,
and they're
coin.
exactly as engaging and enthralling as they were 30 years ago.
Yes,
when you-
even down to the point where you're screaming at the stupid kid they can't put together the Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
Just
Like,
for
you
everyone
stupid
who's
kid,
wondering
it's
in the
3
comments,
parts.
just go ahead and accept it. We're on another weird pull.
Another weird thing.
I will say, by the way, when I was in Connecticut last year, we were shooting cosplayers and we were just blowing them away. No, we were filming them cosplayers, and we came across 2 zombie cosplayers who were, I think they were the Blue Barracudas.
Oh no.
And they had like the helmets, and they were all like gored up and everything. And I'm like, boy, that last temple really gave you hell. What was the room that really gave you trouble? And they're like, it was putting that monkey together. I just couldn't put it together, man. The head goes with the leg. I don't know. And I was like, kudos to you for your improv skills. That was really on point. Like,
Dude,
well done.
those kids struggle,
Hold
man.
on.
Like it's
I want to throw this out there just because I thought about it because we were talking about DBZ and anime and stuff like that. Just so you know, before we move over to the actual topic of today.
Right.
Amazon right now, it's literally a flash sale and it goes to the end of the day. Cowboy Bebop complete collection Blu-ray like $15.
I never watched Cowboy Bebop. Never got
Now's
to
the
it.
time to
Tiffany,
go.
order that.
Okay, now we gotta shame Rob for not watching what many
Rob
consider to be
Sheen
the
for not
greatest
watching
anime.
How do you not watch
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop? It's complete.
Never
They
got
never
into it.
continued it.
It's
No,
have you ever watched
6
Firefly?
episodes. If you love, classic American music, it runs the whole gambit.
Yeah, Rob, you love music.
no, dude. Dragon Ball Z is
See, I
my
watched that one.
that's my extent of anime.
Okay, did you watch it on the action block though, where you would have to watch Sailor Moon first?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that. And
Tuxedo
it was-
Mask.
Dude,
Yeah,
no,
it was-
like,
I watched Sailor Moon
Moonlight
in-
Knight was where it was at, man. Tuxedo Mask is just, a poser. It's Moonlight Knight who's the best one. I'm gonna say that now and forever. His rose was white.
Was Tuxedo Mask and the Moonlight Knight just the predecessor to the Green and the White
I guess the
Rangers?
Flash-
Same
Sale's already
time,
over.
same time, because I was a fan of both. Same time, actually.
Right?
It
Same
was-
twist,
it was-
though, if you watch one or the other. Like, I watched Sailor Moon first, then I jumped into Power Rangers, and I'm like, they're like, who's this White Ranger? I'm like, Green Ranger.
For those of you guys checking Amazon right now, apparently the flash sale's already over, so it's back to $40-something.
That's
I was gonna jump on that too. Actually, I keep meaning.
I thought it
to
was an all day. Oh, Outlaw Star, that was a good one. All right, we're gonna be here forever if we do this. I'll just send you my copy that I got for $15 out. Problem solved. Then you and Tiffany have it. I'll hand it over to you when we come down to New York Comic Con.
Fair enough.
All right, guys.
That's my Riddler trophy.
Yeah, we'll find out whatever's happening with that. It's been almost a year now. You guys want to hear a funny story?
Yeah,
real quick
please tell
before-
the story.
Okay. So we always tell the story about New York Comic Con of Rob. Rob, vaping, blah, blah, blah. Here's a story you guys never heard. Last year, we went down there, and I won a Batman cowl. Like a cowl.
Oh, you never got that?
No, still
was
doesn't come
the-
in.
What was the
Come
company?
Triforce.
Treyarch?
Triforce.
Wait, Triforce.
Triforce. So
I'm going to
I
look
won
it
a-
up. I'm going to post in the chat and let them know.
Yeah,
what it
no,
looks
so it's a big company
Hey,
with they make
Triforce,
these
what up?
gigantic props that are a ton of money. So because we were on YouTube and stuff like that, they gave me a discount and I bought the Mad Moxie's Bad Touch gun. But they wanted to put it through my card, so to get it all locked in to get me the discount. So Sal wanted a Riddler trophy.
I was like, there's the Riddler trophy in Lipson. If you've ever played the Arkham games, which of course everyone in this chat has, and anyone watching has, when you beat the game, you then spend the next 6 weeks trying to get all those Riddler trophies. And by the last trophy, the game should produce a real
An
trophy.
actual one.
Because you need something physically tangible. Because after that, you've only beaten the 89% of the freaking game.
True.
So you need a real trophy to commemorate this achieve, because it really is an achievement, okay? An achievement in as much as I've got to glide upside down in a cave, up like over water. No. So I'm like, I gotta get me a Riddler trophy. And I've been trying to get one for years, and we saw one available, and Benny, of course, because of his thriftiness and so forth, was able to achieve a lowered price.
It was 50%. It wasn't even like 10%. They offered it to me for 50%, but they wanted to put it all on my card.
And I'm like, go for it. I will give you the cash.
Yeah, so we did that with no problem at all. They've never sent the trophy to the point where they were offering a refund. Like, forget it. Now, luckily, I paid for it up front, and so it's not like a situation where Sal gave me money and whatever.
No.
So I can just get the refund and we're fine to go forward. But they've never sent it, and I keep getting emails like, one more month, we're gonna send it.
Yeah, and
now
every 2 or 3 months, I would be like, Benny, how's that trophy coming along?
So now, like, literally, they've now started sending emails like, do you want a refund? Because we don't know if we can get you the Riddler trophy. But my Mad Moxie Bad Touch gun, or Good Touch gun, and my Batman cowl will be in on December. So
Nice.
a year after we go back to New York Comic Con, we're gonna
You finally get it, yeah.
Merry
It's
Christmas to you,
unbelievable.
Benny.
God, that's nuts. That would drive me up the wall.
Now, for the record, I got an email yesterday morning, Sal, and I haven't told you about it yet.
Oh.
Supposedly, they may have found a shipment in Europe that got lost, that they may get a few more and send them over.
That'd be amazing. Let me tell you something. Really quick. There's other YouTube channels we watch. Obviously, we're all a big fan of the format. And there's one channel that I was watching, and they did a behind the scenes video, and Triforce sent them that cowl.
Oh.
And the prototype one they've got?
The prototype and the batarangs, which is just basically a recreation of Batman's hand holding a battery. You can take the batarang out, play with it. They sent them 2 for free.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So they're just throwing this stuff around 2 years ago. Now we can't even pay them for this stuff.
We're trying to pay them for set pieces and stuff, guys. Now, the funny thing is with the Batman cowl, I paid for the Bad Touch. Like, we were there, I threw it on a credit card, and Sal was even there. I'm like, I'm totally going to regret this. I'm, like, maxing out a credit card for a prop gun, but whatever. What happened was I won the Batman cowl.
Yeah.
So don't think I went out and spent, like, $1,500 on a Batman cowl.
No. That was... Yeah. You got the raffle tickets, and they called it out. And I was there to witness. I was like, it was a sea of people. Like, it was just unbelievable.
It was just, and it was only you and me, because Rob had already abandoned for the day. He's like, I'm gonna go wait for you guys. So you go see if you win.
Rouse, my dogs are barking, man. I gotta go.
Oh, he says that too, huh?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that, but that sounds like something I should say.
It does sound like something
Awesome
he would
phrase.
start saying.
It's on the internet now, so you can't fight it.
Yeah. So yeah, we go down there. Now, apparently, they were giving away. Now, here's the funny part. So apparently, they were giving away free raffle tickets, but for every like $10 you spent, you got more raffle tickets. Now, the Bad Touch gun, because I'm a huge Borderlands fan, is like $500, and even with like the 50% discount, that was still like 25 tickets that I got for buying the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there, and I guess Sal could overhear them all. So we're like in this cluster, and they yelled out my name for the Batman cowl, and I'm like, yes, I got it. And Sal's, and all you hear around is everyone being like, that's bullshit. I'm getting so many tickets.
It was amazing. I was so pissed.
So like I'm sitting there like, oh no, and Sal's like practically like my bodyguard, like, Benny, we gotta be careful. Like,
we gotta go through
this.
You're gonna get jumped in the parking lot for your prop gun. That would be the nerdiest crime ever committed.
It would be. It
would
would be
happen in New
today.
York
Like a
Comic Con,
man,
though.
a man was stabbed to death for like a prop gun at New
By the
York
way, he
Comic
wouldn't
Con.
have gotten the gun. He would have gotten a voucher to achieve the gun sometime in the future. Like, so...
And that's what's happened with the Batman cowl. Like, I've got a voucher, and I keep emailing these guys, because I'm like, look, you gave me a free Batman cowl. Where the frack is my cowl? I want this freaking cowl.
You're like Bart in that one episode. You're like, where's my elephant? Where's my prop gun?
Yes.
Well, the prop gun I paid for, that one I'm a little more mad about. Like, if the cowl never shows up, I'll be like, whatever. It was some kind of a scam at the show or whatever. You know?
It was all just smoke and mirrors.
Right, yeah, but the gun, they took the money from me for. So I want my freaking gun.
By the way,
there will be recompense.
That cowl was just one of the things you could have purchased / won. The other thing they had was a full... It was like the size of a small car display of Green Arrow's bow.
Oh yes, it was.
Wow.
It was a Volvo, but it was like his quiver thing. So it had all the arrows in it, the full bow,
and it lit up. It was literally the size of a Mini Cooper.
See, you would have to watch out for me for that one. I might actually jump someone in the parking lot for that one.
We're like,
drive, guys, just drive.
We were all arguing about like, okay, so yeah, it'd be cool to get this, but where in God's name is it gonna go?
Well, they also did not specify that it was going to be. They didn't specify that it was gonna you would get it later. So we were all like, if we win this,
and we were like, how are we gonna get it home?
What are we doing?
Was it the comic version or was it the TV show version?
I think it was the comic version because it was it was really pimped out, and I don't think the bow on the show looks nearly as ornate and ridiculous.
Here, actually, I found the cowl here. I'm gonna link it in here. Here's the cowl, guys. If you're curious about what I won.
By the way, that just a quick nerd YouTube kind of thing. YouTube host Trisha Hirschberger was cosplaying, and she was demonstrating the bow at the time. So,
nice
thing there. Yeah, she was cosplaying as I think Copperhead from the DC Pantheon, like a girl version of Copperhead.
Oh, so the one from Origins.
Yes. Exactly the one.
Exactly.
You know, I like when they do gender and race flips on characters. Sometimes people lose their mind, but with Copperhead, they're like, who cares about Copperhead? They can do whatever they want with
exactly.
Copperhead.
You don't even have to say it's a girl version. You can just be like, no, it's Copperhead. It's always been Copperhead. No one's going to be like, actually, Copperhead has a rich, storied history with the Flash.
The best thing Copperhead was ever in was Justice League, the animated series,
yes!
and he was a jobber in that, too.
Yeah, he was literally just cannon fodder. Just throw a couple of action figures at Batman and see how many he can beat until Darkseid shows up in laser blasts.
Real quick, guys. I just paid off the credit card with everything on it, and that statue that they're linking right now in our chat, I put on the credit card this morning.
The Mad Moxie statue?
I literally have a credit card that, if you guys see in the background, I have a lot of statues, busts, all this other stuff. We have a credit card we use for that. I will throw stuff on it, and that's okay, now we pay it all off. And then we put more stuff on it.
Right.
I need to get.
We're out of debt.
No, I'm out of debt. Let's redo it.
Let's jump back in.
Yeah,
which I'm sure the credit card companies love you.
No, they do.
I'm not
You should see my credit score now. That's
yeah. No, I mean, by the way, I had one credit card for 10 years, paid it off in full every time. Only put $30, $40 on it every couple of months. My credit score was I immaculate numbers, but my credit whatever was an F. Because I only had one credit card.
Oh, I have 5 now because of that.
They're like, why don't you have 9 credit cards and they're all owed money?
Dude, I don't do credit. I never buy anything unless I can buy it outright.
Well, okay, real quick, because I'm going to help you out with this little tip. We do get to move to the main topic, right? People are getting a little antsy in the chat.
Now we're talking about how to raise your FICO score.
This is important.
But I will say this.
People, you'll thank us later.
When I was in the military, I had 3 credit cards. And when we got out, I got a nice severance package. And I paid off all of them and deactivated all of them. My credit score went from 720 to 570. A store wouldn't give me a store card. I had no credit, no more, and pretty much for a year and a half we had to start activating credit cards and doing what I do now, where I swipe them, put a bunch of crap on them, and then I just throw them in the drawer until we pay it off.
Yeah.
And now I have a great credit score again. But not having any credit is a horrible idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I was younger, I started doing I had a credit card, and my dad was like, "Get rid of that credit card, cut it up." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Read this book." And he gave me The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and I've never looked at credit since.
I bet.
So I never like.
And I was like that too. I hate credit. I don't have very much, but I have a bunch of little credit cards with $500,000 on them, and I do a little over the minimum payments and whatever. All right, credit explain.
You see, I just like to cut out the middleman when I need some, when I need a loan scale. I go to my buddy Gino with the bent nose, and he floats me a couple bucks until payday.
His interest rate's way better.
Yeah.
And you have a lot more incentive to pay him because otherwise you lose your ankles.
That
too. All right, guys. So let's move on to the main topic because I did say we're going to try to keep this episode shorter, and we're we already blew that out of the water. So
yeah.
Today's topic basically is, guys, the best of the worst, and we're going to start. And since the plan was for me, Joel, Sal, and Rob to come up with a book, but I think due to our lack in time and how deep I know they're going to go into it, we are going to discuss the book that is the worst book in Rob's opinion, and he wanted to talk about it before the podcast, which started...
No, it's not the worst in my opinion. It's the worst in Sal's opinion.
Okay, well, for Sal. Spider-Man One More Day.
Yep.
All right, Sal, why don't you kick off what Spider-Man One More Day is?
Spider-Man One More Day is the culmination of J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man. It was half written by him, half written by Joe Quesada. Drawn by Joe Quesada, and it was basically Marvel's way of undoing the Spider marriage and kind of putting Spider-Man into the status quo they've been wanting to put him in since 1988. And yeah, so the book is just basically the fallout from Civil War, from Spider-Man revealing his identity, and then the Kingpin of all villains choosing to try and assassinate Peter Parker in his hotel room. The sniper misses because Spider-Man has spider sense, and then hits Aunt May. She almost dies. There's a whole bunch of other supplemental stories that go on. Of course, it's what people hail as one of their favorite eras of Spider-Man. Back in Black. In most of the books, there's some moment in it where Aunt May basically says, "Let me die," and then at the end of One More Day, they don't. And in fact, Spider-Man sacrifices his marriage in order to heal his elderly aunt. He also winds up, through One More Day, appealing to every superhero who's ever owed him a favor, which is everyone in the Marvel Universe, and none of them, including the Sorcerer Supreme and people who have access to the afterlife, can fix her for no reason. As if to say, like, no, it has to be Mephisto that makes the fix.
Only the devil.
Only the devil can fix Aunt May.
Yeah, even the one above all, even God was just like, hey man, like this is just your lot in life, dude. It's her time.
God's like, sorry man, you caught me on a bad day. You caught me on a Vegas weekend. I can't help you.
Omnipotence is not as omnipotent as I thought it would be.
Yeah. After everyone told him to let her go, he doesn't, makes a deal with the devil, and the deal, of course, is he gets his aunt back. He gets his geriatric aunt back, so that and he sacrifices the marriage that he engaged in with Mary Jane.
The devil making a horrible deal here on his part. Mephisto usually asking for souls, but
usually.
In this case, I want your happy marriage.
I want your happiness.
Well, because he knows it's not enough. No, because stealing souls is so blasé. It's so 90s.
It's so expected.
It's so expected. Like the last time he did it, Danny Ketch showed up. So let's move. What he needed to do was, he's like, no, I'm robbing you guys.
For those of you guys who don't know, Danny Ketch is one of the Ghost Riders.
One of the Ghost Riders, yes, the cool one.
Danny Blaze is the cool one.
He was the coolest looking one. He had the coolest outfit, the coolest bike. He looked the best.
You mean you
Danny Ketch, man, he was like the definitive Ghost Rider.
I also don't count Vengeance.
Here's the funny thing, just a side note from this on the Danny Ketch thing. It's funny because I just did the Ghost Rider thing. Danny Ketch is the Ghost Rider most people know. But for some reason, they all think it's Johnny Blaze.
Well, wow. Danny Ketch is the one that they recognize.
Right.
But Johnny Blaze is the name they all know. And it's because, like, no one else knows it either. Like, everyone loves Ghost Rider. No one has a good Ghost Rider pitch, because Ghost Rider is an awesome tattoo, and that's kind of it.
Jason Aaron had an okay run.
Oh no, actually,
they're right.
Cage
the one
movie
where
was amazing, guys.
The Nicolas Cage. Oh, dude, the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider is like the definitive Ghost Rider. It's like
the second one is pretty
Ghost
great.
Rider.
That second one is so awesome.
It's hilarious.
Is this
honestly,
by the way?
I think the second one, the Ghost Rider, like the look for Ghost Rider has never been better.
Oh
like,
no, that I'll agree with. Yeah.
Was awesome with the black, with like the oil fire
off him, yeah.
And his leather is bubbling, and every vehicle he gets on becomes a hell vehicle, including the friggin' wrecking ball. Like, that is awesome. The direction is toppers. The fact that the awesome dude from Pacific Rim is in it for a few minutes is awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
The guy who should be Green Lantern but won't be.
Idris Elba.
The villain trying to corrupt all the food, but he can't corrupt a Twinkie.
Yeah! But like,
that's great.
The only thing that really kind of sucks is A, it's set in like Poland or whatever, and B, it stars Nicolas Cage.
Well, what I hate about it is
cheap too. It's really cheap.
I didn't like how they tried to go into the Noble Kale story without going into the Noble Kale story. They're like, as an archangel kind of guy, but we're not gonna name him.
That was really dumb. But, like,
we'll rub up against this story.
But it's over here. As Ghost Rider promises, it's a ride, and it is also, of course, Nicolas Cage being like cranked up to 12.
Oh yeah,
we're scratching at the door.
Love it.
Anyway, One More Day sucks because Straczynski wanted to tell a story. Like, literally, they hired Straczynski. They're like, we don't know what to do with the Spider-Man marriage, and he's like, why don't you put them back together? And so they hired him to do that. He does that, and then at the end of his run, they're like, why don't you split them up? And he's like, we literally just spent 2 years fixing this. And they're like, yeah, but no.
You hit the nail on the head.
About this whole Spider-Man marriage thing, though, is Marvel's almost taunting us with a renew your vows. Everyone's
Yo,
all
hell
like,
they are.
we want him back, and then Marvel's like, here it is. No,
Here you go for a few minutes. Nah.
You can have them back, but you'll lose every other hero. Are you happy
I was gonna
now?
say that's what they basically are stating with that. Like that's Marvel's way of going, this is why we can't do it, because everyone else will die.
The world will literally end if they get back together. Do you want that to happen? Do you want the world to end? I didn't think so.
The funny thing is, they also like didn't even try. They didn't even let you enjoy it as much as it's a Marvel story, because like Kubert's decision of like switching the A's and the stuff, like making everyone look weird, just made it feel like a what if book.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even that cool. Like do you get Spider-Man versus Venom? Sure. Does Spider-Man live in a shitty apartment? Yeah. Are they back together? Yeah. Do they have a little kid? Sure. But like, whatever. Also, Aunt May's still alive, because if she wasn't, they wouldn't have named the kid Anna. Which means I guess Aunt Anna died, but they didn't really establish that either.
Yeah,
but
I was surprised about that too. I thought they were going to put like a Mayday Parker reference in there or something, but they
Well, it's always her, even in One More
They're
Day.
going back to it, because if you look at the cover issue, the next one, she's in like a pseudo little kid version of the outfit and everything with like webbing, so she's already going through that.
Yeah, I mean, like in One More Day, they even show a girl who looks just like her that Mephisto taunts Spider-Man with. And I think that was Straczynski's like little FU to Quesada, who was the brainchild behind One More Day and the whole decision to do that. Because at the end, not like we're spoiling anything, when Spider-Man does decide to make the deal and give up his marriage, Mephisto turns into the daughter they'll never have and basically says, now that you've chosen to save your doddering geriatric aunt, you will never be happy and you'll never have this child. Because you chose to be selfish, you've robbed the world of this new life. Bye. And then,
just deuces and out.
Yeah, and then of course it was so like universally reviled, and it was so clearly editorially driven that then they had to retcon the damn thing.
With One Moment in Time.
With One Moment in Time, which had beautiful covers.
Oh yeah.
But the story itself was garbage.
So sad.
So anyway, it's bad. And for me, like the reason why when I got the last issue, I said I'm quitting comics, and I put it on my shelf. I put it up on my shelf as a reminder to me that as long as books like this are allowed to exist, it proves that creators do not have final say on what happens in stories. And it will always go down to editorial mandate. My young days of being like, that was my like FU to comics in general, was just basically like, this isn't just because I remember the marriage and I have a nostalgia for it. This is a writer had a story to tell, and editorial had an agenda that they wanted to further, and when push came to shove, creativity had to take a backseat to editorial mandate.
It was the death of artistry. It was icky. It was an icky feeling.
And
it's like screw you, artist. We're not going to let you do your art here because we have a business to run, man.
And like the business was Brand New Day, which 2/3 of it was trash anyway.
Yeah, it was.
And like, no, but it's 3 Spider-Man titles a month. And by the way, like I talked to Dan Slott when he just started doing Brand New Day, and we talked about like the meat grinder element of it, and he actually described it as being like, it was like Slaughterhouse-5, where it was just this utter grinder, and everyone's got
literary
their
reference
agendas and all their own different ideas, and at the end of the day, like, no clear voice came out. And of course the other mandate from Brand New Day was no old supervillains, only create new ones. And we got such classics as Mr. Negative and Driver.
They're still pushing super hard, Mr. Negative.
Like, give it up. But like also you got Driver and Menace and
I like Driver. I don't even know who Driver is, but it sounds cool.
Driver drives a car.
Am I confusing him? Isn't he one of the dudes on the Superior Foes? Didn't they like make fun of when they moved him on Superior Foes and made him a joke where he's like, "But I'm a good villain too, guys."
So it takes Nick Spencer to make that stuff work.
Yeah,
like Nick Spencer's Superior Foes is some of the best Spider-Man books I've read in years.
And wonderful, yeah.
Especially lately when it comes to the Parker Industries thing, which I guess they're making like total like the thing now. Like
been bigger now. Spider-Man
status quo. Like when they released, I don't remember what the hell issue it was because I don't know what numbers we're dealing with anymore. But the issue where it showed a ghost break into Parker Industries, and
it was the last one before Secret Wars. It was the last short arc they.
I'm like, break this stupid company down, please. Like,
And
let's
it looked
end
like
this.
that's where they were
stupid-
going with it. Like,
Yeah,
that
and
issue
you're like,
ended,
no.
it's all destroyed.
Yeah,
Well,
at the
I
end
mean-
it's over.
The
Like-
only problem, I don't think Brand New Day itself is bad. Like, let's get back to that, because you're talking about Kurt.
Yeah.
The problem I have with Spider-Man in general, and I like it, and for the record, what got me off of comics for a long kick was the Clone Saga. So it seems like Spider-Man has storylines that does it to everyone.
But why is it always Spider people quit? Like, I know some people quit during Superior, which I'm sorry, because Superior got me back. Like, Superior,
Superior
was
was
awesome.
amazing.
It was great.
Superior got me back into Spider-Man full time instead of
Same
just grabbing
here.
like an issue going, I don't have time for this one. You know, like. But the problem I think with Spider-Man isn't so much Brand New Day; it's that they're always trying to make him what made him successful initially.
Yeah.
And the problem is he's gone beyond that. He's now a pop culture icon, and that's honestly why I like Parker Industries and what Dan Slott's doing, because he's not just trying to make him a kid again. He's like, all right, let's let this guy succeed and finally progress.
It took Doc Ock stealing his body and running down all of his life choices for him to finally go, maybe I should get my life in order.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he did that with Big Time. Big Time was the book that got me back into Spider-Man in general. I was like, wow, like this is finally taking the natural progression of the character or the obviousness of it. Like, the kid invented web shooters when he was 15. Of course, he's going to be able to work at at Apple. Like,
exactly, yeah. Well,
So,
what was that
no.
one? Because he was with Maldo or whatever. It was with the before he turned it into Parker Industries. It was the,
when it was Horizon Labs.
oh yeah, when he worked for
Horizon
Modell.
Lab.
That was it. Yeah.
I loved Horizon Labs, and I was so sad to see that the one consequence that I was always disappointed with Superior Spider-Man was the dissolution of Horizon Labs and the loss of Max Modell and his life partner and his team as characters. Like, it was. At first, I was like, okay, Slot, I see you're trying to do your new Daily Bugle thing. Ugh. But at the end of the day, I was like, wow, this is a really fun supporting cast. We don't need to have Betty Brant and like, oh no, what if her brother the Molten Man will like stir up trouble? Like, we don't care about that anymore. It's time for some new blood, and it really worked.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot. Rob, what is your opinions on Brand
Yeah,
New
so
Day?
Rob, let's hear about what you think.
Well, first things first, you do realize that Spider-Man's a fictional character, right?
Not to us,
Like-
he's not.
Like
he's a real
Spider-Man.
person.
people.
What
people
if
Well,
they asked
for
a response?
being later.
What if
See,
a
here is-
fantastic
no,
response from somebody
no.
who literally
Here is-
created
no.
a channel about comic books and explains them to people like they're really important?
No, explain to the people because they're fictional characters that they want to know about. See, this is the exact same thing I ran into. I went onto Reddit one day and I made this GQ magazine cover for Black Panther, and somebody posted a comment and said, realistically, Black Panther would never go on and reveal his identity like that. I said, well, that's because he's fake. Like, you see, Spider-Man's
Yeah,
not
because
real.
he's fake.
Spider-Man is a reflection of whatever Marvel wants to do. If Marvel wants to create a story that dissolves a marriage that isn't real, then let them dissolve it. See, here's a problem that people
sure.
have.
Yeah,
Like,
and if-
like
and if anybody
you'll
wants
say
to
no,
write
no, no,
story
no,
about-
no, 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 I'll let you rant. You'll say you'll
Comments
say
are like divided against you, Rob. They're like, yes, Rob, and somebody like, he's real to me, Rob.
It's a civil war in
you
the
will sit
comments.
you will sit here and you will say, well, I'm not nostalgic for the marriage of Spider-Man and Mary Jane. Of course you are. Like, you look at Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy and you say, oh my God, Marvel's making the same mistake all over again. No, they're not. It's a marriage that had to end at some point. I mean, Joe Quesada was right because Joe Quesada was 100% right. How many stories can you really have with Spider-Man when he's a dad and he's trying to raise a kid and he's trying to fight crime at the same time? Spider-Man has his.
with the Fantastic Four, with them being married and
Well, look
having
what they did to
kids.
Superman and Lois Lane.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. The Fantastic Four, great topic. Like a team that's been in decay so bad that when
okay, maybe that
hold
wasn't the best.
on, that when their series ended, when Marvel said we're killing off the Fantastic Four, no one gave a fuck. The
now
team
they're
that
broken up into
pioneered,
another
the team that built Marvel Comics, no one cared when their story ended.
It wasn't
No
because
one
they were
cared.
parents. The issue
No.
was the fact that it was boring.
No, it was no. Okay.
What Rob is saying, though,
The
and I
idea
agree with
here-
Rob. What Rob is saying is that he was right. That you can only do so many stories about the.
You can
characters.
only- you
You're
can only
saying that they're
do-
boring.
Don't
Well,
know
they
that.
were because
Like-
they had kids. That's people with kids are boring.
No, see, no.
The fact
See,
is,
here's-
like, it's an easy argument to make to say how many stories can you make with X amount of with XYZ, and the fact is, as many as you have creative people working for you. The
Okay,
fact
fine,
is, like,
okay,
how
fine.
many stories
Then
can you
let's make-
tell about a guy who has a detection sense and webbing and you know, surface adhesion? Like,
How many
as
stories
many
can you
as
tell
it
about a guy
takes.
that looks like he's a bat?
Like, you literally, like, how many stories can you
75
tell
years
with Alfred and Batman and
Then
his
let's
many
make a more complicated argument then. And let's look at Spider-Man as a character. Spider-Man was
Right,
relevant
we were
in
just
the
making
19.
a point.
Hold
Like,
on.
is it-
No.
do you
Spider-Man
not-
was Spider-Man was important in the 1960s because he made it cool for teenagers to be superheroes. Spider-Man maintained his popularity because teenagers had somebody to identify with. As Spider-Man grew up, those teenagers said, wow, look at Spider-Man. He's such a great character. I love his character. People will identify with Spider-Man because of pop culture references and because of his popularity. But the element that made Spider-Man popular by the time One More Day came around was gone. People couldn't really identify, like teenage kids can't identify with Spider-Man because he's not a teenager anymore. That's why Miles Morales took off so well. If you look at, looking at Spider-Man
was created to appeal, like when Spider-Man was created, number one, there were no teenage superheroes, or at least there weren't any that were worth a damn.
No, there were teenage superheroes. They just weren't. Yeah, they weren't like main stars.
They weren't protagonists. They were sidekicks. They were always relegated to a supporting role. The fact that like teenagers were that Spider-Man appealed to teenagers was because there weren't any. The idea of Spider-Man doesn't appeal to teenagers in 2005. It's like, well, yeah. So teenagers aren't reading comics right now. Like the amount of people who were reading, like the reason people were reading comic, or the reason why people were reading Spider-Man. Like I'll tell you this: when I was reading Spider-Man, when I first started reading it, I didn't like the character because he was a teenager. Right. And I can guarantee you, a lot of people who got into comics don't read them because the protagonist is like themselves. In the 60s, they were because that was fresh and new. And the reason why he grew up was because Stan Lee had a mandate back when he was creating Marvel Comics that the characters grew up. And then eventually they were like, wait, but then how will we sell them in 2015? And so they
Old Man Spider. I'm Carrot Warrior.
Yeah. Like, but like for me, the argument of making him, the marriage had to end because nobody had any good stories. I say you don't have good writers.
No, that's not true at all.
It feels a little defeatist to say, we can't write anymore. Maybe try and
no.
then
I mean, okay.
They literally had a writer who was doing the thing they asked them to do, come up with stories that explain. Marvel's literally like, okay, we don't think we can have a married Spider-Man. We don't think we can have stories with him. And they gave it to Straczynski, and they're like, do that. And he did. And it sold consistently and highly for the entire run he was there. And then at some point they went, oh, we have an opportunity here to do what we wanted to do for the last 25 years. It's almost like, for me, it's almost like, I'm not even gonna get into it. But like,
hold on. So what you're telling me here is that you wanted to keep a character the same.
Mommy, Daddy, stop.
You wanted to keep a character the same. Think of the children.
Just let them go.
You wanted to keep a character the same for 25 years or longer. Like you didn't want him to change. You wanted Spider-Man to stay the same.
No, actually, you want Spider-Man to stay the same. No,
Spider-Man. No, I would get rid of Spider-Man if I could. Like I'd get rid of Spider-Man.
Like the characters. That's why I found this argument so fascinating, because you don't even like Spider-Man. But
no, I hate Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh, Rob, you just ruined your argument. You can't fight for something if you.
No. I can argue.
The fallacy in your argument is you think that because I don't want the marriage to end, that I want the character to stagnate. That's not true. And the reason that it's not true is because the marriage exists because the character grew and changed. Because the character evolved and grew. It was literally during Straczynski's era that things started to actually change. Spider-Man stopped being a newspaper photographer, became a teacher. His marriage with Mary Jane became more complicated because he was in his 30s, and he was actually reconciling being a superhero and being an adult. The idea of, like, if the marriage ended organically, if Mary Jane was sick of it and they got a divorce, that's a change of the character. I might not necessarily agree with it, not because I don't agree with divorce, but just because it's clearly editorially mandated. If the writer justified it in a good and clear and organic way, then I'll have to accept it because that's the writer's tale. But if editorial says on the wall every day, the marriage has to end somehow, I don't care what you say or what you're doing, make a thing that makes that happen now.
Break them up, damn it.
Okay. So
that's
so
not
then,
story driven. So, but to use magic or to use any excuse to change the story is lazy, and it is not, in fact, organically changing the character or growing the character at all. And in fact, when they made that happen, they then put him in his aunt's house, but kept him the same age. Like they wanted him to be like he was in the 70s. And in fact, the mandate from Marvel, and there's documents that prove this, say we want him to be like he was in the 70s.
Well, I know that because
hold on.
everybody knows.
But that's them saying...
Because this is a great... This is actually a great segment. We should do this regularly. But what I'm going to say is because of time and what we're doing and what's happening here, we're just kind of rehashing the same stuff. So we're going to move to final statements on this debate and then let the audience decide the winner. Okay. Rob, since you were going to go next, complete your point and then do your final statements on your point.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood what your actual argument was on why you hated One More Day. It sounds to me like what you're saying is you hated One More Day because it was editors taking control away from creators.
Yes.
Okay, I disagree. Like I will. No. If that's your inherent argument on why you think Spider-Man One More Day is bad, then I won't contest that. Like I'm not going to contest a person's opinion that says that editors are taking away like the writer's ability to create good stories. I mean, at the end of the day, like editors are there to edit comics and they're there to decide what gets put out and what doesn't. I mean, if Straczynski wrote 3 years worth of good comics and they were selling consistently and Quesada made a big mistake, that's fine. But if you're not arguing about One More Day on the merits of the story itself, and you're arguing on why it was written, then you can't say One More Day was a bad story because you're not arguing the merits of the story. You're arguing the merits of why the story was written. You could say One More Day was written for dumb reasons, or you could say that Joe Quesada is an idiot for having One More Day written, but you can't say the story is inherently bad because you're not arguing the merits of the story. Now, if you were saying One More Day is a bad story because Spider-Man sold his soul to the devil, I would disagree. I would say because Spider-Man was backed into a corner. Like, Spider-Man was put in a situation where he was told by God that Aunt May's time has come. It's time for her to go. By that mandate on behalf of God, everything forthcoming after that means no one's going to be able to do anything to save her except for the antithesis of God, which is the devil himself. And when Spider-Man's given the opportunity to do that, then one, it shows that the marriage between him and Mary Jane Watson doesn't really have any value if he's willing to end it, and she's willing to end it based on the virtue of saving a woman that's probably going to die in 20 years anyway, who's older than them, and she's going to die before they do. It's the natural order of things. Then I would say that in that instance, all that really does is point to the inherent nature of the fact that their marriage sucked in the first place. And it was never going to go anywhere. It was going to end in the first place. I mean, that's the basis. If what you're telling me is true, and that's the basis of the Spider-Man stories during the whole Straczynski run, is like their marriage was complicated, they ran into problems, so on and so forth, then it's fine that their marriage ended. It's fine that it was time for them to go. I mean, I was ready to walk away from the whole Spider-Man Mary Jane Watson thing. It was okay for me to see it end.
You had packed your bags. You were ready to leave. Right?
Well, I mean, because for me, I don't find the relationships between characters intriguing. What I do find are characters and how they relate to bad guys and how they deal with, the conflict of good and evil and like the whole philosophical thing. I don't care that Spider-Man was married to Mary Jane Watson. It wasn't relevant to me any more than it was that Gwen Stacy died. I recognize Gwen Stacy dying had huge impacts, and I recognize that Mary Jane Watson dying pissed off a shit ton of Spider-Man fans. But at the end of the day, it's not relevant to me because I didn't care about their marriage. I was glad to see Peter Parker walk away from that and see a Peter Parker that focuses on Peter Parker, that focuses on the life of Peter Parker, and focuses on how Peter Parker deals with bad guys, which I think we got in stories coming after. Now, Brand New Day was garbage. I do kind of agree with that, and I do agree that one moment in time was incredibly stupid when it was Joe Quesada's stupid attempt to say, "Hey guys, here's what Mephisto did." When he annulled the marriage because fans wanted to. I agree it wasn't enough for fans to hear the statement of, well, how did it end? I mean, it couldn't have just ended. Mephisto had to do something. What did Mephisto do? I recognize that kind of stuff needed to end, but I was ready to. I mean, I don't care about the marriage ending. That's fine with me.
Well,
all right. Let's say okay. Thank you for your final your final thoughts there, Rob, on our debate over Brand New Day. Sal, what are your final thoughts so we allow them to vote with our straw poll that a lovely viewer has made, and we're going to put it in.
Oh. At the end of the
nice.
At the end of the day, the reason why One More Day is a bad story is because it's not actually written to tell a story. It's written to further an agenda, and the reasons that are cited for why the story is compelling and interesting are only there because convenience required them to be there in order to further that agenda. In reality, the one above all telling Peter Parker that Aunt May's time has come should probably be the wake-up call for Spider-Man. But because the editorial said it can't happen, you can't have him accept it, he doesn't. And Quesada jumps through hoops, writing hoops, to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mephisto's the only resort, even though it's pretty clear that even though Spider-Man has literally fought Mephisto before.
Who hasn't, though?
The Mephisto is
really,
not,
who hasn't, but okay.
that, like, literally isn't the end-all, be-all when it comes to getting this problem resolved. Like, convenience... Like, my issue is just convenience and contrivance are the only reasons why why that story exists in the first place. So you can't say, like, well, Spider-Man was backed into a corner. He couldn't solve the marriage or save his aunt by asking Doctor Strange to put a healing spell on her because he already asked her. Well, the fact is, like, it was only put there because the script said so. And the script said so because Editorial said so.
Okay, well then we're arguing two different points. Like, you're arguing why it was made, and I'm arguing the story itself.
No, but I'm saying the story is bad because it's not actually written to be a story. It's written to make an agenda happen. It's like if someone, it's like the Big Bang Theory. Like, the Big Bang Theory, they say it's for nerds, right? But it's actually making fun of nerds because it's written by a committee of jerks who all think we're all assholes.
And Chuck Lorre.
And Chuck
Lorre always done that with everything.
All right, guys.
Poor people are
Okay, well, hold on a
Go
second.
ahead.
Hold on a second. Let's Sal finish.
Do you have a follow-up, Rob? A follow-up
Well,
to
no,
this point?
Sal was gonna say something.
I'm just saying it's just a bad, like, when, like, look at Big Bang Theory and Community. Both shows for geeks. One is written by geeks, another one's written for them by a committee. One is inherently written well, and it has, like, actual references, and it actually has story and character development. The other one has convenience contrivances, character outlines. It has no actual depth or substance to them, and they're only doing it because they found out they can tap into this one demographic. They said they threw darts, and they're like, okay, what demographic haven't we mined yet? Nerds. Okay, well then we'll just make a show for them.
You said the Big Bang Theory, and what was the other one?
The Community.
Oh yeah, okay, Community's great.
Now, of course,
I
okay.
like
Okay.
the IT crowd.
I say,
Or
you're
I didn't
still
watch that.
arguing. You're still arguing the same point. You're saying the story's bad because of why it was written. You're saying, okay, it's not a genuine Spider-Man story. This story is not on the same par as some of the best stories ever written about Spider-Man. This story was written to serve a purpose.
Even the stories that include facade are at least written by a writer who wanted to tell a story about a guy who don't know the identity of in a silly costume or in a silly robot armor. Like,
No, okay.
At the very least, that guy wanted to tell a story about robots. Like, with One More Day, the guy up here who doesn't write stories said, you have to make the story about this. And when the writer said, I don't want to do that, he came downstairs and finished it for him.
Okay, then again, Sal, like, you're not arguing whether or not the story's good. All you're doing is simply
bad.
No, you're saying the story's bad because they have an agenda that I didn't agree with. Marvel's had agendas ever since Spider-Man was in existence. The only difference here is that they had agendas you agreed with. That's the only difference here. Like, Spider-Man's agenda. No, that's 100% true. Spider-Man
was not around during those times to argue with them.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. In the times that you've read Spider-Man, and with the stories that you love, would you argue that Spider-Man's agenda was, or I guess that Marvel's agenda was to make Spider-Man a story that would sell?
That's their agenda for everything. That's Coca-Cola's.
That's the agenda that they have, regardless of whether you want to consider it a catch-all agenda or an agenda or not. But the agenda.
But you're entering into a world of, okay, Coke sells soda. They got to sell it. They do anything they can. Marvel sells comic books. Sure. But when you get into the world of literature, when you start creating art, you enter a world where you actually are responsible for the content you make, and you're contributing to the zeitgeist, and that is you have an inherent responsibility. And when your responsibility is beholden to special interests or to an agenda that doesn't necessarily that clashes with good substantive storytelling, then you have an inherent problem with your system.
All right.
And that's
Okay,
my
so
problem.
no, Benny.
Different topics and everything. Hold on, okay. Like, we've gone on now for a long time, and I get it. You guys are you're cycling into a new topic. So, regardless of where the argument in the end is, and we definitely have to do this again, because this has been an awesome and fun thing, and the audience has loved to hear you guys go in heated arguments.
See, I don't like I like any debates on my terms.
I understand, like, right at this point, you're basically debating, Rob, you're debating that Sal and you are debating different topics. That's why I'm putting it into it.
No,
Okay.
No.
There's no need to debate anymore. We're done.
I'm debating that you debated that I'm saying what I said.
This is gonna eat me alive for the rest of the night. I'm gonna be like, Benny, Man, I had such a good point to make.
Yeah, no, make your point. Make your point. And see how amazing it is. This is like when Cell wanted his perfect form, and like Vegeta's like, "Go for it! How amazing is it?"
That's a pretty good
all I'm
Vegeta.
saying is this: yes, Marvel exists to sell comics, and yes, the nature of selling comics is the agenda of Marvel. Since Spider-Man's inception, Marvel's existed to sell Spider-Man comics. That was their main agenda. At that point, I would say that Joe Quesada, the editor-in-chief, as his right to do so, decided what direction Spider-Man should go in. The agenda changed from making stories driven by writers that fans loved based on Spider-Man to retconning one of the biggest marriages in Spider-Man's continuity. The problem that I think you have is not that Spider-Man One More Day is bad. The problem I think you have is that the agenda changed from an agenda that you liked to an agenda that you didn't like. At which case, it's not the merits that the story itself is bad. The story is beautifully written, I think, and it's got incredible dialogue and some really great moments. You know, I think the argument that you're making is that Joe Quesada was an idiot for having One More Day implemented, which I wouldn't necessarily disagree with. But
I actually didn't say that
within the writing of what Joe Quesada provided in the story, within the pages of One More Day itself, the story that was written, the dialogue that took place during Back in Black when all this really started, and Peter Parker was talking to the one above all, the relationship, the debate that went on for like a whole night between Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson deciding whether or not they should end their marriage was beautifully written, and I loved that part of it. Like, I love that story. You know, it's just
not only that. Well,
I'm sorry, but your perfect form was not good enough.
I gotta ask something. Why is it okay to consider intent when we critique art, but not to consider intent when you critique literature?
Oh,
why is it? It's okay to.
So many times I've been asked on the show to talk to you guys about art and a depiction of a female character, and it always comes down to the intent, and you always accept that. Why is it not okay to consider the intent when we talk about this story? Is it not art?
Well, because it's
No.
do we have to add Tiffany to the straw poll?
Okay. Then I won't answer that.
Let me
two
wrestling
different
tag in
things?
moment where it's like tag in Tiffany.
My mind was so wrapped
I'm
up.
sorry. We can discuss this in a minute because we are coming to the end of the show. But for the record, I'm going to go ahead and say Sal's disqualified for tagging in a partner. But
No.
The
chat asked me to come in.
No,
I
know. Yeah.
Requested.
I'm following that. Okay, guys. So we are going to the end of the show, and we do have a straw poll. So this is something we're going to have to organize a little bit better because I thought this went really well. This was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But here is the straw poll. You've got 2 minutes to push your final votes in. Move around who you think had the better argument. You don't have to go with whose point you agree with. Okay, this is a debate. Who had a better argument? That's what it comes.
By the way, if you vote for Tiffany, that counts as one for me.
Classic debate.
I mean, I'll accept
I don't
that.
have to be
Okay,
right.
because that's
It's like Alec Baldwin in 30 Rock, where they're like, "I just vote for Jesus," and he's like, "That's Republican. We count those."
Okay, so I mean, just like any debate, it doesn't really matter who wins and who sides because you're always gonna have people. You know, it's pretty much like House Slytherin versus House Gryffindor. They're both right in the end, but
What?
Seriously? You mean the evil wizard Nazis are right in the end?
Yeah.
I like House
You don't have a
Slytherin.
point.
Anyway,
That's all he's saying.
Yeah.
House Slytherin all the way. Anyway, all I'm saying is go ahead and vote who had the better argument for this point, guys. And then maybe we'll stick around and answer a few questions about how you felt about One New Day, how you felt about Tiffany's addition to it, all of this stuff, okay? But while you're tallying up our votes, and we're going to see who had the better argument, don't forget we are theweeklypoll.net. We are a website of all the comic book YouTubers in one location. We have forums, we have articles, we have reviews, we have all of our entertainment. And just overall, check us out at theweeklypoll.net. Also our Twitter at theweeklypoll, our Facebook, facebook.com/theweeklypoll. And
Also, go to the forums. Go to the forums.
go to the forums, and we can continue this debate in the forums. What did you?
Oh.
Yeah. Go to the forums and give your opinions on Brand New Day. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was Sal right? Was Rob wrong? You can say what I think, but anyway, guys. Yes, don't forget to check us all out. And also, just while we're waiting for the votes to come in, I'm Benny at Comicstorian. That is Rob at Comics Explained. That is Sal at TV Little House. And our guest today is Joel. Although I don't really think we can call you a guest at this point. Our rotating cast member is Joel from Comic Book Cast 2. Make sure you check them out. They do all kinds of comic book goodiness. They've stolen all of our ideas. No.
It's true. Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with wearing that one, actually. That's the whole reason I'm here. It's just to learn from you guys and and write down information and take it
You
back
know,
to my
I'm
home.
not even going to look at that straw poll because I can guarantee Sal's probably crushing me in the votes.
It's
I don't know. It
not
looked pretty
that
split
bad.
earlier.
All right, so the
Oh.
final votes are Joel
How are you,
with
how are
13
you
votes.
checking these?
Huh?
How are you counting these?
You go to results.
Oh.
There's a total of 154 total votes, with Joel with 13 votes, Rob with 43, and Sal at 98.
I told you, man, he's going to absolutely blow me out of the water. I mean, there are more people that hate One More Day than there are people that love it. So
All
it's,
right,
it's,
guys.
it's just become a popular opinion to hate One More Day, I think.
Next
But
time we
anyway,
gotta
so-
talk
no,
about
so-
The
Kingpin.
kids are really they're with
So,
their
guys,
skateboards and their bubbly.
Yeah.
That
yards.
was,
Their
that was
skateboards.
Rob's hand wavy dismissive. It doesn't matter what you
Yeah,
say.
who cares?
Okay, so let
These
us
Yeah,
kids
that's
today.
Good fun.
So everyone, next week we're going to be doing a giant retrospective of Ant-Man. It'll be very short and small.
Okay, hold on. Before we take off though, I have to answer Tiffany's question
Okay, all right.
because
go
she's
ahead.
been sitting there waiing and she's been sitting there thinking like, I wonder if this motherfucker's going to answer.
Oh, no,
it.
I didn't. No, I was gonna leave, and I was like, is that weird for me to just be like?
Wow.
drift away.
So I was gonna wait for you guys to finish. Then I was gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go in another room.
With regards to the debate of intent in art versus literature, I mean, that's a really good question, and it requires, I'd say that would require a big discussion, but I guess off the top of my head, I would say the reason why people argue that, or I guess why that difference exists, is because when you're talking about art, like art's usually done in a way...
Hang on. I want to know what are you gonna count intent? If you count intent when we
Oh.
talk about Jessica, like, you know, about Spider-Woman and her butt, or, you know, with
Or Spider-Woman and her
Batgirl, I need you to tell me if you count intent when you talk about literature or not.
Oh, yeah, I can count intent. And
Then
like,
isn't
okay.
that like the intent of Marvel is the same thing as Joe Quesada making a decision. So you have to count that. Like, you have to consider that. And like how if you have something that's long running and going a certain way, if it doesn't naturally make a course change, it seems jarring and unrealistic. Especially when you
I
have a
agree.
character that's so many, you know, amazing stories like in his repertoire, and maybe not so some amazing stories, but people have a connection with them, whether or not he's real or not, whether he's fictitious or not, they have a connection with them. And then for someone to just come along and make this hard left turn, that is what makes it not good. Is it wasn't natural. And I'm not saying including a supernatural or otherworldly power. I mean literally the flow of the story.
No, I disagree. Like, I think it was a pretty natural story because I
But
think,
that's
like...
no. But that comes from the intent. If the intent shifted drastically, then the story shifted drastically. And if you're going to count the intent, then you have to count that.
No. That's not necessarily true.
But
All
you
right,
just,
all right. This sounds
I
like
mean,
an entirely new debate.
no.
entirely new argument.
Hold on.
Okay,
I mean,
no.
if
If you
the
want, we
intent...
can end the show and then we can keep talking. But
Yeah,
let's end
I was
the
like, this
show.
sounds like
okay,
it's much
yeah, we
longer
can do
debate,
it
much longer
post-show.
discussion.
That's what Benny wants to do. He
Yeah,
wants to end the
we're
show.
trying to end the show, Rob. We're trying to end it.
And
We have
I'm
an official winner.
enraptured here.
For the record, the audience has officially said that Joel is jacking it, so you are now our new jacking it guy.
Nice.
I wear that L on my chest proudly.
That is awesome.
God, you guys are so fun to debate, man. I mean, even if I don't come up with an answer to this question, it's still something fun for me to think about.
Well, we can all discuss this in a minute because Benny has
Yes.
to go out because he's got stuff to do tonight. We have to end the show on time. We did
Ooh,
a 2-hour show last week, so
We did 2-hour shows the last few weeks, actually.
yeah. All right, guys. So thank you all for joining us as usual. We are the Weekly Poll. We will be back on Friday. Rob and I will be here doing the weekly game. It'll be actually Rob, myself, and Joel probably doing either the Crew or GTA 5. You guys can go ahead and vote. Make sure
I
you
don't
go
have a
check out.
copy of The Crew, so if you want me, pick GTA.
Go to the
we'll do.
Weekly Poll forums at theweeklypoll.net. Check out the forums. Vote what game you want us to play, be it GTA or The Crew. If you don't want Joel there, just say The Crew.
It's just that easy, folks, to cut me out of it.
And do us a favor. Also, give us more debate topics. We already kind of have our show for next week planned out, but we would love to do this again. Put down as many topics as you guys think would be the best. Do you want them to debate, another brand new day debate? But do you want us to debate the Batman changes? Do you want to debate Nightfall? Do you want us to discuss what went wrong with
Future's
the
End.
original
Let's
Daredevil
debate
movie?
that. I read all of that.
No.
Are we doing
Come on, man,
a
I have
post
to
show?
review all of it.
Are we doing a post show?
Not really tonight, no, because
This is
okay.
yeah, this is pretty. But guys, go to the forums, theweeklypool.net. We will be checking them before the show next time, checking for debate topics, stuff like that. And also, go ahead and link whatever new guest you think would be great. We're not that we're tired of Joel, but we had to get him last second. and
We're
we
tired.
were
We're tired of Joel. Joel, we're
You
tired
need
of
to
you.
see
You
other
gotta
people.
go.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Also,
It's-
make sure,
It's not you, Joel. It's us.
make sure you follow the Weekly Polls Twitter account at the Weekly Polls so you can stay up to date as we get Tiffany's anime show with Faust and Nutarella as a regular thing, and the gaming podcast I think is going to start around August when games actually come out again. All right, guys, thank you so much. As usual, we are the Weekly Poll. I think I said that 9,000 times in the closing. We'll see you guys next time.
I'm sorry, wait, who was this?
This is actually Comic Book Cast 2.
Oh,
Comic Book Cast 3.
Yeah.
oh.
We're
Okay,
Comic
cool.
Book
I was-
Cast
90